Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 21 of the Everything Motor Racing podcast. You are joined once again by your host, Declan from Everything Motor Racing. I have Jacob Ward from Now Moto.
All right, guys, what's happening?
And can we all please give a warm welcome to Gary Lee from Pro 53, finally returns.
Hey, hi, everybody. Good to be back. I feel like I should play like some Slim Shady. Like, guess who's back?
I don't want to give you a warm welcome because you've been absent for so long. I forgot who you are.
Oh, I'll try to reintroduce myself to everyone. Don't worry.
Is it definitely Gary Lee or is it Lee Gary? I can't remember. I never get it. Oh, don't know.
I've been called a lot worse. Don't worry.
I want to say Alan.
yeah, it's Alan. We've got Alan back on the podcast, everyone.
Alan.
So we've got a lot to talk about. Finally, we've actually got something frigging to talk about instead of just pretty much milking it or getting guests on because it's easy to do. So yeah, there's an elephant in the room, boys. Which we were chatting about 5 minutes ago that I completely forgot about. Because I'm a genius. A rider's announced his retirement on Thursday. I'm not sure if you heard, but
yeah, I don't know who he is. Like, never heard of him.
No,
only some dude, some Italian
some guy, some Italian geezer. But who
says, I tell everybody before the summer break that I decided
bloody
to stop.
hell!
This
That
my
is
last
bloody
half season.
awesome.
Half season of I no longer ride the bike. Obviously, I race, but
Wow, that is really good. That surprised me.
I've been practicing that for 25 years. So,
wow!
Can you say I'm very happy?
I'm very, very happy.
My God!
The podium, and the Franco, and the Mark.
And they miss.
My best moments, Rossi, is they say, but being polite without using any horrible words. Please describe Mark Marquez in 3 words. He goes, small fucking bastard.
Small fucking bastard.
Love it.
Mate, you just killed me off there. Thanks for that.
I did not see that.
Guys.
Like, that was, I gotta say, like, just for everybody listening, that was totally unexpected. That was a
left
plan.
field as well.
Oh my God, that's
so
my tribute. That's my tribute to Valet.
Well, now we know what's happening. Really, is that we've got Rossi on the podcast, just in disguise.
Yeah, I bloody wish, mate. The amount of clicks we get for that, bloody hell.
But what do you make of it all? I think it's probably a year too late myself.
I mean, personally, Valentino Rossi has done enough for the sport to be able to retire when he wants. But his results have dropped the last few years, and I think it is genuinely time now. Now is the time. I think, he's enjoying life a lot. When you saw the over the summer break, his social medias, and he's what is he going, and he's jumping in swimming pools or whatever. He's looking at lakes, spending the time with his friends, family, racing bloody, what are they called, the tuk-tuks round Tavulia, Like, he's enjoying life, and, I think it's the time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think that, I agree with Declan on that, and I think that last year was a weird year for everyone just because of COVID, and I think obviously Valet is all about the fans. So I think it would have pained him to finish not having the fans. So he's like, I'll give it one more last go. And I think then, obviously the season's not been great for him, for his standard. If it was any other rider who just started in MotoGP, you'd be happy with finishing in the points. But this is Valentino Rossi. He's he is the GOAT, the legend. The doctor, and so it's not. I was looking at a crazy stat that they had today was that he's competed in 414 races.
423.
Is it 423 now as of this season? Yeah. So 423 this season, and he's been on 235 podiums. So over half.
Mental.
So over, and that's not even a case of like over a span of a couple of years. We're talking about over a 20+ year span. So no, I think it's just the time to go now. Like, it's the best time. He He's made the decision. He's decided, enough's enough. I'm not competitive enough to be winning or to be at least competing. And it's a sad day. Obviously, it's a day that we all knew that would come. But
Yeah.
but I think we talked about it before on the podcast about how his enthusiasm for the younger, right? Like you look at the grid and all of the races today.
Yeah.
They have a legacy of VR46 within them, and they will for
Yeah,
years
they
to
love him.
come. So
Yeah, I mean, you only have to look at social media after his announcement, and all the riders flooding in, like, posts about him. All riders apart from Marc Marquez.
Yeah, I was going to say all.
But
even Casey Stoner and Jorge,
even Stoner and Biaggi, like all these riders.
Oh, Biaggi's was the best one. Biaggi's was the best one. I had a little tear in my eye, I think, when I read that.
Jesus.
I thought Jorge's was quite classy.
Yeah, Jorge's was like Stoner's when he said, my achievements are only validated so much because it was against you. Like bloody strong words, and Valentino Rossi has given so much to the sport, he has propelled the sport to a massive level. Love him or hate him, Valentino Rossi he's not MotoGP, because I hate it when people say that, but he has done so much for the sport that, he's a legend. He is one of the greatest of all time, and that's my opinion. Obviously, everybody has different opinions, but, he's one of the greatest riders to ever grace this planet. And, his celebrations, you only have to go back for the years of famous, toilet celebration where he walked into the porta potty, or, the hairstyles on the podiums, or the chickens on his bikes. And then the sex doll.
The bowling, the bowling.
Yeah, the bowling.
That was
what? Yeah. The sex doll one, I think, is my favourite because of the context. Apparently, Max Biaggi was seeing Claudia Schiffer, who's a supermodel, or was.
Yes, that was it, wasn't it? It was Mark. Yeah, it was a kind of big thing towards that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Or Naomi Campbell, one of them. I don't know. But basically, apparently, Schiffer in Italian is like a dirty bitch. So they put Schiffer on the back to take the piss out of Biaggi.
Jesus Christ. Like, he is mental. Like, his helmet designs over the years, he had donkey on it, and then he had a photo of his face on the top.
Do you know what?
And a backwards helmet as well,
That's something I am looking forward to now, is the Misano farewell helmet.
Oh, it's going to be mental. I think it's going to be like a hybrid of, like, loads of designs, or maybe his first design.
Do you know what I think it is? I reckon it's going to be literally just a farewell tour kind of thing, bands do.
Yeah, like a band around the helmet with each year, and like flag posted each year and stuff like that. And
that's what I reckon it's going to be, like the Rossi farewell tour 2021 or something.
Yeah, because he ran his original, didn't he, with a 20-year? Was it 20-year when he done a 20-year anniversary? He ran the original Sun and Moon, didn't he?
Yeah, because he put it on a Corsa or a Pista RR, like the brand new.
You can still buy
shape.
that.
Yeah, it's freaking gorgeous, man.
Well, he's done the chrome lid a few years ago, didn't he, with the turtles on the side, and
the Back to the Future ones.
Yeah, who gets to do their own, like, he done the hippie design with a Repsol Honda. Like, whoever gets, even nobody gets to do that. He got to run the Italian flag on his Yamaha.
Yeah, and then what was that? The Safari Nastro Azzurro livery that he used at Mugello as well.
That's it. Yeah.
The only thing he didn't win with, I think he's the only race he crashed out of. Yeah,
because he stopped using the custom liveries at Mugello, because every time he used one, he crashed, and so he just opted for the helmets instead because he thought they were bad luck, the liveries, which is a shame because imagine the liveries we'd have seen these last few years. Like,
but one thing I do want to say about Rossi retiring is that we will go on. Like, MotoGP, like, it is in part thanks to him, but MotoGP is in a very, very good spot right now. Like,
incredible
in terms
spot.
Of talent, reach around people. So it's not gonna hurt. It's gonna be sad for people, but it's not gonna be the end of MotoGP as some people have suggested.
No. I think it's just because he's been around for so long, and he's transcended generations, hasn't he? So he has generational fans. He's got fans of lots of different generations. So, but we don't know any different. Some people don't know any different. That familiarization of having someone there. It's like a big team leaving, because he's that big. It is generally like a big team leaving the sport.
Yeah.
Because he, I think someone said, like when Valentino first came into MotoGP, there was 3 manufacturers. Now there's 6. There's the fan base and stuff. I'd love to see him run his original yellow Nestra Azzurro design for the last race.
That'd be so sick.
But no, I agree, Jacob. I wholly agree with
though.
you. We've talked about it loads before. I know I've not been around for a while, guys, but we talked about it a long time ago about how stacked the GP across the board is from the rookies all the way up to MotoGP. How much talent. And I think that's one of the big things to think about as well, like with Rossi, is that Rossi's actually not got worse. He just hasn't. His lap times are still, very similar. So so I think his lap times last year for the Austrian Styrian Grand Prix were the same as what they were in 2019, and he was second on the grid by 0.01 of a second.
Yeah.
Last year everyone was a little bit slower, but last year's pole position would have only got in P12 this year. But Rossi's just stayed the same as he did last year, and the year before, whereas a lot of people have come on. And that's purely down to age. I think that's purely down to age, like he's obviously still very good at riding a motorbike and, one of the best still, one of the top 20 in the world probably, but strong statement, but he probably is still one of the best 20 in the world at riding a motorcycle.
He's in MotoGP,
Like the thing is, you just can't be static in MotoGP anymore because the game's moving on every race.
Well, he's going faster than he ever has in his ever career. He's going faster than he ever has. But the issue is, everybody else is still going faster than that. The level has gotten to a point that Rossi can't hit anymore, and that's because age. Everybody takes a massive step, and Rossi's taking, say, 90%, and instead of the 100% he needs of a 10%, it's because he's 43 years old.
That's just mental, isn't it? You think about, there are only certain stars and athletes that compete into their late, past what would be classed as prime, and are still, relatively competitive. It was only a couple of years ago he finished 3rd in the championship still. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think of it like that?
Absolutely unreal.
He's basically the Gigi Buffon of MotoGP.
Yes, it's the Italians, isn't it? It's something. That's why I keep saying to my missus, I want to move to Italy. I'm 36 now. If we move to Italy soon, by the time I'm 50, I'll still be 36.
As a youngster in Italy at
I'll
this
still
point.
Be 30, yeah, exactly. I'll be like a teenager, and I'll still be 36 when I'm 50.
You'll have to go to school when you arrive.
Apparently, minestrone and red wine is the key. Apparently, that's what I've been told by the scientists.
Of course.
But it is, isn't it? You look at them in all sports. They, Italy are renowned for, being able to compete at the highest level. Italian athletes, for within football, obviously, within sort of, I think even, think like Giancarlo Fisichella, obviously nowhere near the kind of talent of Rossi, but still they compete when they're older. They seem to have a lot more longevity within their careers. It's just, I think, it's just the right time, and I'm glad that he's done it before. If he'd come back now after the summer break and delayed it again, and, then people, I think, would have, the more casual fans, and even some people who are quite educated, would have started to be a little bit disrespectful towards it. So I'm quite glad that he's come out and just done it, and it's great to see the love and support that he's getting. Because he fully deserves it, and I promise I'm not going to cry.
You're all cried out now, aren't you?
I'm not cry. I promise myself I'm not cry.
That's actually so good. Like I mean,
oh god, well, with Rossi, a lot of MotoGP fans, because he made his debut in 1996, obviously in the 125 class. A lot of people, including myself, I'm 23 years old. He's been racing longer than I've been alive. And it's all I've ever known is Valentino Rossi. I think I started watching the sport or following the sport in 2007. So I was only 9 years old. I know people have been watching since they were 5 or whatever. But
oh my god, 2007! Didn't even see the fucking fight.
Yeah.
Two strokes.
Rossi won his titles. My family, didn't like motorbikes. No, they were banned. Motorbikes were banned in my house. Valentino Rossi appears. people in the family start finding out who Valentino Rossi is, bang, they're on every week without fail. Like that's how much of an influence he is that you can turn my whole household into MotoGP
Yeah,
fans.
I was gonna ask you that actually, Dick. Obviously, because you're a bit younger.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say to you, like, when did you start watching GP? Because my first memory of Rossi was in 2008. I think I was when I first heard of Rossi. After when he stepped up to 250s after he'd won 125s. I remember I got some pictures of me at Brands Hatch with like all Rossi t-shirts and stuff before he even got into 500s. And,
here we go. Oh yeah,
no,
I
honestly,
knew
it
him
was
before
good.
he was cool.
But generally, and the reason that he attracted me to it was my dad was into motorbikes, and he was more superbikes because that was the foggy era.
Yeah, Carl Foggy. Yeah,
and we followed we followed World Superbikes. But I saw Rossi's lid, and that instantly got me interested because he was so cool, the design, and he was just very different. I mean, I know I know people accredit him for the sort of fluorescent yellow, but he actually wasn't the first to run that, but he made it cool.
Yeah.
First to run it well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he just, there was just something. I was only a young lad then, 13 years old, and I saw his lid, and instantly, when I was racing in four wheels, I always run with a Rossi lid.
Nice.
That was and even now, my racing lids that I've got that I've had done just for when I do casual stuff is a sun and moon design, but it's my sort of own take on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting to hear how even he'd obviously had silly success even when you'd started. He still went on to win world championships after and was always this is obviously quite a few years before he joined Ducati still. But yeah, I actually generally I feel sorry for. It's like when people say like as a football fan, I feel sorry for my little boy because he's Ronaldo and Messi are coming to the end of their career. And I'll have to but there's more video and more content available, but with obviously Rossi, even his sort of early years, there's not as much content as there would be if he was competing now. So I generally feel sorry for the because when you talk about Rossi, people will look at it who have maybe been into the sport for the past 10 years and be like, oh yeah, Rossi's good, but Jorge Lorenzo's better, Marquez is better, like he's not always winning. You're like, you just don't understand what this guy was or is even, I should say, sorry.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
I think was is the right term there because he isn't at his prime anymore. So I think was is fair.
Yeah, but he's still got the thing is he's not winning now, but you've only got to look at the stuff like with his academy and stuff, how he's still the most influential rider in the grid.
Oh yeah.
He's
in terms of like social style, I completely agree with you. He's still the biggest star.
Yeah, but he's influencing. We call it the Rossi leg on the braking. He started doing it and then stopped doing it when everyone was doing it, and then defined it. Do you know what I mean? The guy, who reinvents how people ride a motorcycle. Everyone, and we're talking everyone across all categories of GP riding.
And not even like GP, like World Superbikes, British Superbikes. I mean,
the only other guy who's done
uses it and all that.
Yeah, like literally the only other guy who's done that is Marc Marquez.
Yeah, with his elbows.
That's the level.
That is it, isn't it? That's the thing. So that's what I feel. I was really sorry for the younger generation, but however, they'll have the next superstar, as you said, like a Marc Marquez or whoever the next may be to follow that. But it's great it's given a lot of it's actually been a really good weekend because it's where he's announced it. Everyone's talking about Valentino. Poor Dani Pedrosa. We'll go on to him. Obviously,
mate.
poor Danny, but
I was gutted.
and it's GP's back, but and rightly so. We're all talking about Valet, but it brings back all of the really cool memories, of why a lot of people got into the sport, and it's great. We sharing stories that we didn't know about each other, and other people. It just gets you talking, doesn't it? And long will that will continue forever.
See, the thing is, now I'm sat here feeling like I must be weird because my first race was Donington 05.
Mm.
And as you can imagine at that point, a sea of yellow still for Rossi.
Yeah.
And instantly I was just drawn to Nicky Hayden, not Rossi.
Yeah, but that's cool.
Am I weird?
Cool. No, not at all. No, I don't think you're. No, but what made you go to You think like Rossi was dominating him for years before that, wasn't he?
The underdog.
For what it was for me, not even that. Like I attended, not knowing who anyone was, and the thing that attracted me to Nicky Hayden was the fact that he was sideways coming down Craners with smoke pissing off the back wheel, coming down Craner curves into the old hairpin sideways and just gunning it out. And I just instantly I thought, this guy.
That'll do it for you, yeah. But that's the thing. That's the great thing about GP racing is that even though you wasn't necessarily drawn directly to Rossi,
I've never been a fan of Rossi. See, that's the thing. Like,
but the thing is that generally he's that influential that you think about crowds. People weren't going to many Grand Prix. The crowds, yes, they were. I'm not saying that MotoGP wasn't a success before.
It was. Let's be legit. It was on its arse.
Yeah, but you might not have been if Rossi hadn't been involved in the sport for the kind of 3 or 4 years before, or like 4 years before you went and see your first Grand Prix. You might not have been there. That is, the sport wouldn't have been in a position where it was attracting people that didn't have a clue and were just coming along because they'd heard about this circus that's coming into town.
Well, actually, the reason I went was because I saw it on telly. I happened to flick on the Eurosport, and it was earlier that year before Dono, and I said to my mum, "I was like, I want to go."
And you know what? Awesome. Rossi won about 12 of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's it. Like I can't imagine. I can't remember which race it was off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure in that era, it's a good chance Rossi won it.
If it was Donington, Rossi probably won it because he bloody loved
2005 he did, yeah. I think, yeah.
Well, 05 was the year that he crossed. It was the absolute piss wet year where he crossed the line and did the violin celebration. That was that year.
Ah, nice. Stuff like that, and other riders have done celebrations like that, Marcus swimming over the line in Aston, things like that.
20 years later, people didn't do those sorts of celebrations, did they?
Exactly.
The Lorenzo jumping in the water and stuff like that. These are all really cool things, but we've got to think. Actually, there was a guy doing it 20 years beforehand, that made it into a cool thing.
Yeah, it's only cool because Rossi started it,
Do you know what I think is polished over as well by people that I think deserves more respect? Is Rossi built his profile without the aid of social media.
Yeah,
because obviously it was before Facebook, before Instagram, before Twitter, etc. And he still became a global superstar
just from TV.
Without that,
that's
impressive.
He just, he was just crazy, wasn't he? Even from his 250 and 125, he, just funny in front of camera. So instantly, people were drawn to him. Like you said, you were drawn towards Niki Lauda for his particular riding style. You was impressed with something he did. But I think with Rossi, he just attracted people, didn't he? And he still does. He still does to this day. What other? There's 2 other riders I can think of that have drove a Formula One car.
Lorenzo
and Marquez.
And Dani
P.
And Dani, and Dani P. But who still Rossi now. He's, doing swap days with Lewis Hamilton. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about the 2 of the most successful and biggest names across motorsport that transcend the sport. They're not going to the local the guy who's been winning championships in the past 5-6 years. Obviously, it's sponsors.
That's because I was going to say that's because of Monster, but yeah.
You've got Red Bull. Red Bull. Are not doing it with Mark, are they, all the time? They've done it once with him, twice with him, I think, and he got to drive the Toro Rosso at what it was at the time there.
5 laps with Caroli as well. Antonio Caroli was there.
But yeah, he's just had such a big influence on the sport across everything.
Do you know what struck me the most, though, about the retirement thing? What he said he'd missed the most is the 2 hours before the race. I'm quite curious to see how he replaces that.
Cocaine, mate. It's a hell of a drug.
Have kids.
Yeah.
It's probably dearer. It's probably a bit dearer than cocaine as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, cocaine's cheaper than kids, mate.
And probably worse for your health.
It's alright. He's a racer, mate. He's used to it.
I've not bought coke in my lifetime, but I've heard of the prices. And
Cheapskate.
I still think racing might be a bit more expensive.
Not for valet now, but no, I think I think you hear it a lot, don't you, with a lot of, and very, very good point about how he particularly talked about that, because he'll always be riding bikes, whenever he he'll probably be given one of or every single bike he's ever raced, every manufacturer, Aprilia, Ducati, Honda, and Yamaha will all just be flooding him. If I'm sure he's got a nice little collection. Well, I know he does already.
He's got what his 05 bike in his bedroom, hasn't he? Or something like that.
But sleep on it.
He's gonna have ambassador roles for manufacturers thrown at him left, right, and centre.
I think
obviously Yamaha will probably try and do it. Like Dani Pedrosa could have stayed at HRC and be an ambassador. Yamaha will try and do it, but maybe Aprilia will sneak in there because they were his first baby.
I don't think he'll align himself with a manufacturer in that particular way because because he's a very, very shrewd businessman. Or if he does, it won't be exclusive because that would then restrict what he can do with the academy.
Yeah,
I think the only thing he could possibly do would be superbike ambassador roles, like road bikes. Yeah, like I could see him promoting a Panigale V4, for example.
Yeah, because his team's Ducati, innit? So,
like I can easily see him like a Valentino Panigale V4 Rossi edition or VR46 edition.
Yeah, and he's got stuff for Day and Easy and stuff like that. He's gonna have things coming out his ears. And people will want him. Because he did the golf racing as well. He's not going to be struggling to find a car racing drive.
Well, that's
he's going to be doing. He's going to be doing world endurance, isn't he?
Yeah, and car racing.
He's going to go and win the Le Mans 24-hour. Oh my god!
Oh mate, that'd be insane.
Because Ferrari are stepping back in, aren't they? Because it's this new hypercar. So it's not LMP cars anymore. It's their hyper. So they have the new top level of.
It's exactly my thought, but exactly what I was thinking was they would probably get him in for the first year of the hypercar regs.
Valet, come and win the Le Mans 24-hour with Ferrari. As if you couldn't get more of a legend.
Imagine, right? Like, just picture it now. You're there, right? He goes to Ferrari, right? Suddenly, Alonso's out of a drive next year. Ferrari snap him up for the hypercar role alongside Rossi.
What?
But we discussed on the podcast recently exactly that, and it's genuinely a very possible.
Well, he said he will do it.
He said they're just figuring out the teams now, aren't they? I think is what he said to Danny. I think they caught him, didn't they? Speaking to Danny in the.
Oh yeah, we did.
Paddock,
yeah, I saw that.
And he said, we're just sorting out what team it is, but he'll do world endurance. Plus, he will do like the golf GT. He might go down the GT route for the moment. Because he's pretty good in the GT. Then he will always do the Italian rally as well. So he might do some WRC bits.
I was thinking about this in that, obviously you said, we're doing cars. Aramco have been sponsoring a lot of F1 races.
They have, haven't they?
I would not be surprised to see him with Aramco sponsorship on a GT car next year.
Yeah.
Imagine if he did like a promo like for Monza where at the moment you're allowed to run a test driver or like a reserve driver, you're allowed to run in free practice on like a Friday or Saturday. Yeah. Imagine Rossi running at Monza for an F1 team in a free practice session.
In a Ferrari.
They'll sell more tickets for that day than they will Grand Prix days.
Yeah. Especially in Monza as more places,
Yeah, Rossi in a Ferrari, like in FP1.
He could an Alfa Romeo. He could do a Ferrari. He could do a Haas. He could do who else is sponsored by Monster? He's Mercedes. That's who he drove for when he did the Lewis thing, wasn't it? The crossover.
Yeah, it was.
Lewis needs to go and do some activism, so he's replacing him at FP1 at Monza and then Mercedes. Goes top,
lads. Yeah, but just the possibility, and he'll be around the paddock obviously as well as we said because of the. So I think maybe he'll replace it. He'll miss it because he's obviously been used to it for so long, and I can only imagine that you'll probably never replace it, but you'll just fill your time with. You see it. Every race he's on every race, even if it doesn't have an academy rider in it. He's on the pit wall watching the starts and talking to the team, talking with all the other teams.
He just loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just loves it, and he's just invested in it.
He lives literally
in his life.
it.
Yeah.
It's literally what he wakes up for every day.
He is
Every day for the last 26 years.
But what it is as well is that he's a perfect role model for young athletes that come into it and think, I've made it, just getting to the top as opposed to actually winning anything. He's the perfect role model because he is, designated his life. He's put on hold having children, everything. He's designated his life to competing and sacrificing, you know. So he's a perfect role model for younger riders that are either part of his academy or even just around him to say, look, don't be going around being, yes, obviously you're earning a lot of money and stuff like that. You're doing whatever you need to do, but don't be foolish with it. Don't think you've made it before you have because you'll waste talent. And that's one thing that Rossi, you could never say about Rossi. He's never wasted his talent, did he? There's a lot of riders that have had good talent, very good talent, have wasted it across all sports, but especially in motorsport. There's lots and lots of riders that have got to the top.
Just piss it up a wall. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Right. Yeah, and but that's the one thing about Rossi is he. I mean, I think Ross Brawn talks about Michael Schumacher about that. He just says, that he extracted every ounce of what he could do and surpassed it.
Yeah, see, that's exactly it. Because I like controversial, but I don't think Rossi was among the most talented riders. Like he was up there, but what he could do with the talent he had is near untouchable.
Yeah.
Like they are more naturally talented riders who, for whatever reason, didn't have the application, didn't have the mental. He had the whole package that's near untouchable to anybody else.
Yeah,
and that's what he did well.
There's a lot of factors that go into it. Then some might have better than other. Rossi managed to find the perfect balance of everything you need to be able to just freaking win and obliterate everybody.
Because Maverick Vinales, I think, is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Because Mav is one of the most naturally talented riders I've ever seen. But he's got a head made of Weetabix, so he's never going to win a title.
I don't think he's going to win another race at this point.
He'll win it on Aprilia next year, Qatar, first race.
Yeah.
He'll go and win the next race now, you said. That wasn't it? Jacob was saying, I'm never choosing him again for my picks, and then literally when I'm stuck on pole, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But no, I agree with you. Yeah, there's lots. No, but it's a valid, it's a good example, and obviously not to be disrespectful towards Maverick, but it's a good example of a rider that's got talent, and just unfortunately it seems that some other circumstances are holding them back. Whereas as we talked about it with Rossi, Rossi made situations work better for him. The way that he, other riders, you just follow riders and then overtake them on the last lap, last corner, stick them in the dirt. It just, but they, they learned that from, Rossi used to do
Rossi,
that. Poor Sete Gibernau, Rossi ruined the poor guy's life. He just,
he literally was the test mill, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was.
He was, just a poor Sete Gibernau, that poor guy. And Rossi just ruined. He was such a talent, but he fell foul to the mind games and stuff of Rossi. Yeah. So he's a good example because of the way that. But it wasn't just by chance, that's the thing.
Targeted, wasn't it?
It was, and it was, purposely. You think, probably my favourite moment of Valentino Rossi is the overtake on Jorge. Why? Not just the overtake, because of where it was and what it meant. In Jorge, Jorge's a Catalan. He was running a special Barcelona livery. It was in Barcelona, and they'd been fighting tooth and nail. And he stuck it on the inside of him on the last corner of the last lap to win.
On a corner you do not overtake on. You do not overtake on that corner.
I think the thing about that move is, I starting to think that it possibly is. It was a great move, but in the whole context, I don't think it affected Jorge like he wanted it to, because it didn't break Jorge. It only took one move on Gibernau, Jerez 05, to completely break him.
But Jorge will remember that for the rest of his life. You say that he didn't let it affect his overall performance over the season, but it would have affected him, and he'll remember that forever. And we'll remember it forever. It probably had the impact that it should have had.
I think my point there, though, that I'm trying to make with that is that a new generation of mental fortitude came to the fore as well.
Yeah,
And it was a bit like Rossi's mind games suddenly didn't work. They just bounced off these new kids who sort of like did their own thing.
yeah.
Like
Well,
Marquez, Rossi tried so hard with his mind games on Marquez, and
And
it
failed.
backfired in his face. And it's Marquez is probably the only rider Rossi's mind games haven't worked on,
Yeah,
because
it
Marquez
literally-
again is another rider like that.
Yeah, I think it is the OK Boomer mentality, isn't it? Suddenly they just saw, like, in their mind, like, it wasn't the case. Well, it was, but it wasn't. In their mind, it was an old guy trying to outpsych him and losing. Like, you're just thinking, oh, this old guy's going to retire soon. I ain't listening to what he's saying.
Well, I think what it was is Mark going, I've seen you do this to this rider. I know what the hell you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's use your own games against you, because Marquez has been using mind games for years as well. Like, you can't forget, Moto2 psyching people out. Marquez is Marquez, and Marquez just played Rossi's games against him to a T and caused Rossi to crack. After Phillip Island, caused Rossi to do that move on Marquez at Sepang, and caused Rossi to obviously basically have a tumble down mentally and obviously lose the title in 2015.
Did you see what Lynn Jarvis said?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, no, I was telling because again, like you think Rossi's got all of these titles, but still those sorts of things, and that's why, like, it doesn't matter. Like you mentioned about Jorge, he'll still be pissed that.
Yeah,
but Yamaha's boss didn't acknowledge a Yamaha win because Rossi didn't win it. Like, baffling.
Yamaha for you. Why do you think Lorenzo left? But I want to move on from Rossi, because we've talked about Rossi for about half an hour, to another legend in Dani Pedrosa.
Yes.
Yeah.
The little samurai made his MotoGP return this weekend. And oh my god, it was absolutely amazing to see him back on track. Like, honestly, genuinely, since he retired in 2018, MotoGP has been missing something. And now it just felt this weekend when he was back like it's
felt right.
Felt right, yeah. Like, Dani, he's still flipping quick.
He's still an alien. Let's be honest.
He's still an alien. Like, 10th place in the race he finished, on his second bike, And it wasn't like loads of riders crashed out in front of him, so he got that position out of default. No. He got that result because he bloody worked hard for it,
Yeah, and obviously with what happened, we'll get onto it. But what happened at the start of the race, his preferred bike was scrap metal. It's going back to Austria in a box.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's in Austria, so
you know what I mean. It's going it's going back to the workshop in probably several shipments.
Yeah, on a pallet.
So to do that on your second bike, or when you were, let's be honest, if you can come back after 2 years and not be rusty, you're a freak.
He was just on it though from the first session, wasn't he?
Yeah, like
that's what I'm saying.
KTM,
he was on it from the off. He's a freak. There's no other way to put it. Like, complete freak of nature. He is definitely alien level.
He is, one of the greatest riders we've ever seen.
It was so weird seeing him on a KTM though. Like, after seeing him on Honda for so long.
I think it looked quite natural because I think that especially towards the end of his career with Honda, obviously there was all the injuries and he was treated pretty poorly by them. I know they offered him a role and stuff, but it was let's get it right. They had their poster boy, so they didn't really need Dani. That's what they thought.
They've given him a roll out of nicety.
Yeah, about that, Honda.
But no, it was great. I thought it felt quite natural because KTM have had such success recently, and those that are obviously in the know have rightly so credited Dani with it. He finished 1.4 seconds off Marquez today.
Mental.
Right. Can we just have a moment to take that in?
Like,
I've
been taking it in all day since it happened, to be honest, and like the only conclusion I can come to is that Dani is a fucking legend. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a photo I saw earlier actually of Paul and Dani next to each other on the bikes, and it just looks so weird. It's like you're on the wrong bikes.
Yeah,
you're on the wrong bikes. Swap bikes.
Like, I think it helped that KTM is also orange.
Yeah,
like if he'd been on a Ducati and it'd been full red, that would have freaked me out. But
that'd be freaking weird if Dani was on a
Ducati. I think and he did an interview yesterday about one of the main reasons he's doing the tests doing the race. Sorry, And again, it just showed like what commitment the guy has, like how bloody good he is. Like, that they're not satisfied with how well they've come and how well they've developed their bike. They've got him to race because he feels comfortable, and two, I kind of get the impression that he was pushing it a bit to understand, to say, I need to feel how the bike's reacting to certain ways within, a
race situations,
race because
specific
situations. Like you're 15 laps in, the circuit's a bit more rubbered in. You've been, it's not testing where you're perfectly going around at a decent pace with no one really around you. Once in a while, having sort of one or two bikes to have a little play with.
Whereas you've got 25 riders rattling around for 25 laps.
What an absolute legend!
I hated seeing it, but looking at it, I'm glad he crashed the first race, like the first start, because that was the limit. He found it, and he found it where it eventually didn't matter because of a restart.
But again, that just showed you again that is even more. There's such a cool picture of him standing there with like marshals and flames all across the back of it, and I'm like, I've seen so many outlets that don't even know what MotoGP is. They probably spell it wrong.
Yeah,
they probably spell it with an R.
Do you know what I mean?
RG.
I want to give the kudos to Gareth Harford for that photo. Check his social medias out. That photo is sublime.
It's beautiful.
Literally,
again, just thinking, 25, 30 minutes later, he was just back on a bike. Just, if that had happened to any, if you younger riders and stuff, then, it would have been pretty darn scary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's nice he didn't get hurt from a small crash as well.
I know. Normally he'd be out for 6 months, so he must be. He's probably made it. He's like Wolverine now. He's got so much metal in him.
That's what KTM have done. They've put a steel frame in him.
They've put a steel frame in him.
He's got a trellis frame inside him.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Amazing.
That's why he joined KTM.
That's crazy.
I need that trellis frame, boys. Can you sort me out? Jesus Christ, they 3D printed him, like.
But like 7 seconds, literally. He finished 7 seconds off Binder. I mean, Binder had a worldy race today. We'll go on to that, but he needed it, especially how impressive Dani's been this weekend. But he finished 7 seconds off Binder.
Binder, oh my freaking god, Darren! Like, we'll go into the full races in full later.
We'll talk about Binder in a bit, but
what a ride, man.
Yeah, well, he needed it, doesn't he? Because I think it was needed because of Oliveira hurting himself. In free practice, poor sod. But again,
poor Meggy.
Again, and also, KTM need a good PR story at the minute because they've done themselves no favors this weekend. Again, we'll come on to that.
They completely fucked it, didn't they?
Oh,
well, let's go on.
Disgraceful.
Let's go on to that now, and then we'll cover our other thing in a minute.
Because I just wanted to come out and say, I've been very impressed with how KTM have carried themselves over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But the way they've acted, I will put a star next to this comment and say, if someone was threatening to leak it, which I think is what happened,
me too.
then okay-ish. But
absolutely
if they did this off their own back, then fuck KTM.
If they were worried about that, for me, again, I just have to be a bit careful what I say, but my understanding of it is that if they were worried that someone was going to be leaking it, then their first point should have been to go to speak to the riders.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. They were in the paddock.
So for me, it's a cop out excuse that doesn't have any weight behind it.
That's what I said. If
you go to your riders, you sit them down and go, right, look, there's going to be a news story potentially leaking. If you see it, this is what's going to happen before you see it. It's like Scott Redding when he found out he'd lost his Aprilia ride due to a social media post. It's like, you do not treat your riders like that.
What we should say as well is, if people haven't seen it, is that they announced.
Give some context.
For a bit of context, is that Raul Fernandez will ride for Tech 3 next year in the MotoGP class, and they announced it in the middle of FP4.
Yeah, and then cut to a shot of a Licona crash.
And Licona then apparently was in tears in the garage.
They gave him a dash notification. That's why he crashed.
Oh God, yeah. Oh no.
Just the thing, you're
They can put
fired.
whatever they want on the dash.
Soz,
Mika, Raul is coming. Please leave.
Yeah, you're fired.
SOZ, Soz, just like.
Yeah. Or it'll literally just be sorry with a sad face. Hervey.
Sorry, uwu.
What's it called? P45. Yeah, they put Soz P45 on the dash.
No,
yeah.
they've installed a printer onto his bike and they just print the P45 as he's going around. He just gets out of turn 4 and the P45.
So yeah, that's the content of it, and that's again, you're not hearing
Like
about those sorts of things because then who was gonna leak it, and two, why did they would not have been able to announce it as much as they had done. They obviously done lots of preparation. There's a number of there are understanding a bit how MotoGP teams work and the communications and everything like that. There is so much that has to go into producing what they produced and the announcement and everything from a legal perspective and a commercial perspective. There is so much that has to go on that there's just absolutely no way. It's just a monumental mess up. And just so disrespectful to the riders, it's just so these guys are putting their yes, obviously they're paid but they are putting their lives on the line, and to disrespect them within this manner is it's
fuck KTM.
It's so bad. It's really it's horrible.
Well, it's like there's a situation similar last year. I don't know how much information I can give away, but there was I'll gloss it up. Basically, there was a high-profile signing in Moto2 last year from a rider moving across the planet to race in Moto2, if you can guess from my words. And it had been kind of glossed up and kept quiet, and somebody told somebody they trusted about it. And this person leaked it to the media, and it suddenly went everywhere and screwed the team over massively. Because, the team have set up this massive thing to come out. It was their secret to give away, they've got sponsors involved. They've got all these people lined up so they can all put it out in one go with a massive press release and give the sponsors who are paying for these people to ride and team to operate the exposure they deserve. And some freaking idiot from some random website, I don't know the website, I'm not going to freaking name names, has just gone and leaked it and spoiled the bike for everybody. Because then everybody hops onto it, and suddenly you've got a massive, things like Crash.net, Motorsport.com, Speedweek, all posting about it, saying it's official before the press has even dropped, because some idiot's gone out and leaked it. And it's I think with this, KTM have basically just gone, shit, we cannot have that happen, and we have to get this out now. But it still doesn't excuse what's happened.
Because I think what's worth mentioning as well is that we know from various different language TV coverage as well that Hervé Podral spoke to BT Sport was pissed.
He was angry.
He was the same colour as his shirt at one point. He was red. You could see he was fucking spitting.
He was
rightly so. And then we know Ralph Fernandez spoke to Dazen as well. And said that apparently he did not want this. So it makes me think that I don't even think Fernandez was involved in this.
Well, personally. he said Fernandez has said all year long he's staying in Moto2 next year. We're 99% staying in Moto2. And then all of a sudden, this is what I've seen from various people on Twitter, so don't take it with a pinch of salt, because you can't believe everything you see on Twitter. But there was a tweet that went round, and basically what they said is that Pedro Acosta put the pressure on KTM because he has received other Moto2 offers. So he put the pressure on KTM, which is what Pit Buyer had alluded to on BT Sport earlier.
But he said it without saying it, didn't he?
Yeah, he said it without saying it. Basically, that there are, they've got riders who want to move up, and they need to make sure they stay in the KTM family, which does link into the tweet that's gone around saying that Acosta has put pressure on KTM to sign him for a Moto2 deal, with Byra saying no, he should stay in Moto3. But he's put the pressure on that, which has then forced KTM's hand to put Raul into MotoGP. And with Yamaha expressing severe interest in Raul Fernandez, and Raul having offers as early as this weekend from these and talks from these people, KTM had to stop it right there in its tracks before they had a repeat of Jorge Martin. And moved him straight up, and then have gone, right, Acosta, there you go, there's your Moto2 seat. So basically, void damage limitation. What could happen is Raul could be extremely pissed off, go back to either Moto2 next year with a different team, or sign for Yamaha next year because he's pissed off KTM.
Well, that's it, because I don't think, like everybody said that he signed the contract on July 13th.
That's what Motorsport.com said,
I'm starting to think that he hasn't inked anything, and this is from last year with the option expressed.
Yeah. So my understanding is that those both of your points are correct. So you've got Acosta and his family management pushing for Moto2. Raul wanted to stay in Moto2. Yet apparently Yamaha have put in an offer to activate the release clause, which is €500,000, I believe, in Raul Fernandez's contract.
Is that all?
Yeah. And then KTM have activated their option, so it's not a new contract. And
that's exactly what I think.
So that's what I've been told.
They've activated like a clause or an option in Raul's contract to move him up.
Because basically, and that's the reason it happened so fast, and they wanted to get in the public eye before they'd actually even told everyone, because they were basically given information that Yamaha were they were putting ink on the check to buy it out. And it's basically, so there was a case of whoever got in there first. If Yamaha had got in there first with the buyout clause, there's nothing that KTM could have done. So they had to activate the option to put him into a KTM team of their choosing, which I believe is a standard. Is a standard kind of point in a KTM contract. Most of the KTM riders, from what I understand, that's a clause they have in their contract.
Yeah, Jorge Martin had it.
So they basically activated that, then told Raul Fernandez, and I get the impression. Well, I don't know how true this is, but I heard it on BT Sport today that he told the reporters that he's going to be racing in MotoGP next year, but actually not racing where he wants to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was his exact words. I don't know whether that's a mistake in translation, if he was speaking in Spanish or that's what was said. I didn't hear the interview myself. What I take from that is that he has seen Tech 3's performance this year and thinks that he'll be worse off going there next year than actually having another good year in Moto2, which I agree with, by the way. I think actually...
Or he wanted the Petronas seat all along.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I read from that, is that he was trying to... Because from what I gather, he's delayed it because he wants to sort something out for Adrian, his brother.
Well, yeah, that's the point I wanted to make, actually. Sorry to cut you off there. But... obviously, Jacob and I talk to people, and it's now become more common news, so we can actually talk about it. But because I mentioned it on like BT and all that, Adrian Fernandez is obviously part of the KTM group because he's a Husqvarna rider. And basically, what Raul Fernandez has done is used his place in KTM to leverage a deal for Adrian to ride for either the Tech 3 team next year or the IO team in Moto3. So I think he has maybe moved to Tech 3 MotoGP next year as a way of saying, if you give Adrian one of these rides, I will race for you next year.
I'm not sure on that. I think he delayed it that I think he called their bluff and thought he wouldn't be moving up, and they've just I think he thought they wouldn't treat him like an employee almost.
Like he was like some superhero or whatever.
Yeah, I think they thought that he would bend to their wishes, like his own wishes.
Yeah.
And I think he's had a bit of a wake it up call when they haven't done that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because just nobody seems happy about this. Genuinely nobody. This is a lose-lose for everyone.
Everybody's come out of this looking like shit.
It's a PR nightmare. It's it's very, very poor in terms of like a management structure. Again, we're not privy to all the ins and outs of it, but just looking from the outside, and they've ended up with an extremely talented rider being unhappy about having a MotoGP ride, which is bonkers.
Yeah,
mental.
Like I'm going to imagine that the other thing I'm thinking that they've done this for, and like you know more about the ins and outs of contracts deals than me. You can maybe tell me if I'm on the money or not. But if he's been placed in KTM's MotoGP like structure,
Yeah.
do you reckon his release clause has gone up? Because like in football, football is signed 5-year contracts with a massive buyout clause.
Well, they will now. They will, yeah. From how it would normally work, and again, just speaking from experience on it, and how it would normally work is that they would have activated a clause in the contract to move him to a new team. That will supersede any other offer or any other clause within the contract, and then a new contract will be signed with new clauses and new fees, etc., which would include wages. So what they will do now, knowing that Petronas were about to poach him and Yamaha were about to poach him, they will now ramp up as you do. You'll have like a younger. That's why you see a lot in football where you think, why the hell is he signing a new contract? He's still got 3 years left on his contract. And it's normally to do with release clauses or rights deals or wages. The other areas, not necessarily the length of contract for staying with that employee. It's normally to improve or change clauses within that. So yeah, I would imagine that what would happen and what would normally happen is now a new contract will be signed to activate all of those that clause in particular to promote him to a KTM team. And it will, they'll, if they're sensible, then they'll add a few zeros onto that release clause.
I was going to say, like, suddenly his release clause is 6 million, which, funny enough, I wonder if that's about they'll save with Vinales going.
Yeah, it would probably have to be quite a lot. It could because.
Again, 500 grand on
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know for 100% if that 500,000 euros is an accurate figure. But if it is that, then Yamaha would be well willing to pay.
Yeah,
it'd be in the millions now. I can see it being 2 million.
7 figures to release him.
500 grand seems par for the course for a good Moto2 rider. Like it's very believable. Then,
well, the thing is though, it's about the price for a Moto2 rookie, but now that is. Like I steal from Neil Hodgson. Now his stock value is at an all-time high.
The concertina effect.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. But he is, isn't he? Like you think the contract he's on now would have been signed when he was a rookie. Like before he even turned the wheel.
Yeah, it's like this is what you get as a Moto2 rookie. Now suddenly he's at the same level as Remy Gardner. And in his head, he's like, I'm worth way more than this now.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is you'll have it from both sides. You'll have a rider or an athlete pushing for an improved contract, because if they have a good year, they'll be like, well, 10 grand a month ain't going to cut it for me now. I'm
oh, no, it's terrible, isn't
it? I need a zero on the end of that.
Yeah.
So plus bonuses, he probably, he'll win bonuses, and his podium bonuses, his front row, his pole position bonuses, all of those things will go up. And as soon as you start to win races regularly and compete and show that you can compete at the front, again, all of those bonuses will go up as well.
Yeah, KTM pay well. They pay very well.
They don't scrimp.
And Red Bull pay very well.
They don't scrimp and scrape, do they? Yeah. That's,
the thing now, though, is even if he does stay, there's no way out of this particular year for next year. If he's forced to race, in the loosest of terms, he's going to be looking for the exit as soon as Qatar next year.
100%.
So before that, if what we're saying, if what we're led to believe, not what we're saying, what we're led to believe is true, then there's absolutely nothing stopping him from even, we'll turn up in Qatar and he'd have already signed for Petronas for 2023.
Yeah, I can guarantee that they've locked him into a thing where he can't talk to anybody until KTM say so.
That's
or whatever.
the thing.
Or they have
you
to
say you can't talk
to
talk to anyone, but KTM are not monitoring his WhatsApps or his phone calls, are they? So As long
No,
as
that's
long as
true.
as long as you date
Again,
I'm not not
Watch out,
condoning this sort of
KTM pay his
behaviour.
contract.
I'm not
Pay the good
condoning
monitor at all.
I'm not condoning behaviour of any sort to manipulate or to mess around with management or anything like that. But let's live in the real world. These conversations go on all the time. They say they can't
Well,
speak to someone, but
Valentino Rossi had conversations at 2 o'clock in the morning with Yamaha at the end of the day. So it's
Like,
they
if
happen.
you actually listen to that rule, then you're a fucking idiot. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like, you just got, like, if you actually listen to it and think, oh, I'm not going to talk to anybody else, like, at all.
Well, it's naive if you think the team are then not talking about, especially seeing. Oh, do you know what as well? What will come out of this, and it's really funny. If when you work for somebody, any employee, and you see the management team treat someone poorly. So
Hmm.
I won't name the business I was in, but one of the main reasons I set up Pro 53 actually was as we talked about before, family and 'cause it's providing producing my own lifestyle that I wanted. But it was
Yeah.
I remember I was working for an employee once, and there'd been somebody who'd been at a very high level for 20 years and
Hmm.
performed at the highest level. Um, a great guy. I would say I won't name them, but they'll probably know who I'm talking about. But really good guy, senior management, off the back of a really successful year, best year that this business had had in sort of 5 or 6 years.
Mhm.
And their reward was to then go, well, actually, you know what? We've done such a great job. I don't think we need your position anymore. And within 3 weeks, he was gone. And he'd been at the business for 20 years and given his life. And
Gee.
yeah, and it wasn't within an industry that it's a 9 to 5 job. We're talking about an industry that the demands are 24/7, seven
Yeah.
days a week. 365 days a year kind of commitment, and that for me was just a big like, oh, okay, well, I know these sorts of things happen, but when it happens to someone that's a colleague of yours or you're someone that you have direct communication with, you think, well, why would I want to work for a business that could just quite easily do that to me?
That's it,
Yeah.
innit?
And
Yeah. I
and I
mean,
think that they're going to be far pushed. Give them a winning bike, and they won't give a shit. But there's a
yeah.
potentially, but then there is the potential for other people to be like, well, looking at what they've done with their current riders and the way that if everything was handled, you think, well, it's not really the way. Am I that special that they're going to treat me any differently? No, you know.
Yeah, just
So
another
then,
cog.
yeah,
Well, you're very replaceable. These riders are very replaceable at the end of the day, and like
Mm.
for them to be like, you can't talk to anybody else, but we can talk to other riders
It's
and
like
negotiate contracts
it's
with them for
like
2021.
yeah, it's literally like interviewing somebody for your own job. Like
mm,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. Is if you were adhering to that, then you could potentially screw yourself out of a ride next year while they don't give a shit, then they'll just employ the next guy
Yeah, because
on
they
the conveyor
can't
belt.
they can't tell you that you can't talk to anybody else because you know damn well they're going to be having chats with
hmm
other people.
yeah,
Like
and that's just the way
especially
it works.
KTM.
Yeah, that's just the way it works
Yeah.
because you can put yourself in a position where if you wait and wait and wait, by
All the
time
rides are
you,
gone.
but yeah, by the time you then start having those discussions, yeah, your options
You're
are gone.
way out.
And then the team you're with, you think, the best thing since sliced bread, and yeah, we've got a great relationship, and then they go, oh, by the way, you're out.
Yeah.
Sorry, thanks for the service. And you go, oh, okay, that's fine. I've got some other options. And every door you then start going knocking on, they go, sorry guys, we've been sorted for the last 3-4 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a KTM, I think are probably the worst for it. Like in terms of they've got the conveyor belt all the way from rookies.
Well, even further down now, like even
Yeah,
further with the rookies, because
yeah,
I
like the
always got
Northern
teams
Talent
in the
Cup now.
European
Yeah,
Talent Cup. I
Although,
always got
yeah.
teams everywhere.
Although that
yeah,
being said, obviously with Red Bull, will give credit where credit's due. With I know that obviously Red Bull and KTM have a large affiliation, but Red Bull have been around for a long
A
time.
long time,
And you
yeah.
think like today's result with Jorge Martin, he's still a Red Bull athlete, and he came through,
Yeah.
won the rookies and stuff. So
And he's an ex KTM rider.
That should have been
Exactly.
for KTM. That's what they'll be thinking. We
Yeah,
completely cocked that up.
Spare a fault,
they fucked
spare
it.
a fault for Zarco as well. God,
Yeah. Well,
he's
like,
probably
well,
thinking
thing is,
he'd get that win, the first win for Brown and stuff. But yeah, I think
yeah,
we're credit. We're obviously talking about the KTM situation, but we also we reminded about how much they've put into the sport to help develop. I mean, yes, this is a shitty situation. We're not getting away from that, and it doesn't excuse the behaviour. But they also have put a
no,
lot in and supported riders in a very, very good way as well. This is just a very
yeah,
poor situation.
I
it is.
suggest
Yeah.
this is actually out of character for
Oh
KTM,
yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree. I
definitely,
agree.
100%. I think we've all
which makes it weirder.
well, you said, didn't you? I think KTM have, and you look at the way they've treated. I think we were chatting about it. Yeah, we 100%. We talked about how great it was to see when KTM got their last win. Danny was walking through the garage and got out the back, and they gave him like a
Yeah,
guard of
yeah.
honor. Like they appreciate their riders so much, and the way we all talked about it, there was such a good feeling around it. So
Yes, weird
it's
one.
it's probably there's certain people in motorsport that are a bit shady and do these sorts of things, and
Why did one name just come to mind then? I'm not going to
yeah,
name him, but one name
yeah.
just pops straight into my
There's
head then.
there's certain people within this sport that actually just treat everyone like shit. That's just unfortunate, and certain people that are not very nice human beings, and they continuously do that. But yeah, I think in general, KTM have been pretty decent, haven't they, with their behaviour? This is just an absolute nightmare.
I
Yeah,
think it
shocking.
almost makes it worse in a
Yeah, it
way,
does. It does. It does. It really does because
because they've got a
there's
good
already
track record.
there's enough bad guys and bad girls out there already.
Hmm.
When one of the good guys then does
Mm.
something bad, you're like, oh Christ, it's not over for anyone, is it?
Yeah,
No, exactly.
I think the best way to put it is just disappointment.
Mm.
Like I'm not angry at KTM, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
The-
I want to move on to something that it's caused a lot of talk, but most people going, "What the hell are you moaning about?" For anyone who hasn't seen it, it was the race one of the World Superbikes race this weekend. Toprak Razgatlioglu put in a
well
hard
done.
but fair overtake on Scott Redding, and Scott Redding went pretty ballistic about it.
Well, according
It's on
to
the World Superbikes official feeds if you want to go and watch it. But yeah, I just wanted to discuss it quickly.
our resident superbike friend,
He's a Scott Redding fan.
who is this?
Yeah.
Who just so happens to be a Scott Redding fan, should we
A
add?
massive Scott Redding fan.
He says the move was over the line.
Yeah, it's funny that.
Nah, like
Well,
nah, it
yeah,
wasn't. It was a ballsy move. Like it was seriously ballsy, and like not many other superbike riders, especially, could have made it.
yeah,
Like, but
exactly.
just nah, mate. Like, come on, Redding. Like, I don't mind Scott Redding on the whole, but stop flouncing about that. You've got no foot to stand on with it.
No,
Simple
exactly. I
as.
mean,
We know why now. I haven't seen what happened on the podium today, but
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
well,
congratulations, Scott.
yeah, we should
yeah, well done.
congratulate him. But I think he was freaking out because he's been trying to get on the podium for like the past 3 rounds, had failed, and all this time he had an engagement ring just nestled ready to propose on the podium, and I think
Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
starting to think he was never going to get engaged.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
think I think it was an emotionally charged response because he's not had for his standard or the team standard the best of years yet. Um, and I mean, I've seen a lot harsher moves.
Yeah,
well, like it wasn't even that harsh. I mean, at the end of the day, Top Rack, there was a gap. Top Rack went for it. Redding said, "Oh, I didn't know he was there. Didn't know he was there." But surely a guy who's been racing for 20 odd years would know where if a rider is in your
well,
area.
that's the thing. I think
Mm,
that was a move that he had no right to make almost because where it was in
Yeah,
terms of the track, you don't pass there.
like Catalonia '09
Yeah,
kind
like
of thing.
you just
yeah.
don't pass on the downhill right hander. Like it's like a V dip almost.
Yeah, it's
I think that
freaking
the
mental
issue was
corner.
with his how far he came back and Scott, I think the issue that Scott had was that he felt one particular point of the circuit, the angle that Toprak came in, he was basically like, well, it was one of them situations where he felt that Toprak was basically made the move and left it to Scott to make the decision whether they were going to crash or not. And I think to put it into context as well, Scott is riding very, very emotional at the moment due to a severe incident with Brad Jones, a very close friend of his. He's running a tribute lid. I think he's there which they're auctioning. He's done like a really, really cool design with LCD Designs that to kind of incorporate. And they're auctioning it off as well, and the money's going to the family to help with Brad's medical and support. So I think he's running very emotionally charged. The win meant a lot to him. And also as well, I just think that with the number of incidents that we saw how emotional Scott was at the previous round after what had happened in the CV to the young lad
Hugo Milan.
I think that Scott's riding very emotional at the moment, and he is, for all of the whatever people think of Scott, he's a pretty decent guy from what I hear from people that know him well.
He's real,
very caring, and I just think that he felt that in light of all of the stuff that's happened recently with the fatalities that we have had in motorsport very recently and high profile incidents, that a move like that so late for a win was not just ungentlemanly, but also a bit over the line. And you can see from his perspective why, but I don't think this particular move was over the line. But I think that Scott, he's riding very emotional at the moment. But
I'm with you. Like I think when it all calms down, and this, because it will pass. Like it will calm down. Like you won't stay as emotionally as he is right now. I think he'll look back at his comments and be a little bit embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah,
I don't know whether he'll be embarrassed because I think I think he'll probably think like, oh, actually, do you know what? Like heat of the moment, rather than
that's the word.
I think he'll think heat of the moment. I just think what it's like when you're whenever you're in competition with somebody, you build a rapport with them, and I just felt that he probably, the way that he has come across with it is if he just obviously Top Rack is he's not called Stop Rack for no reason. And I just felt that he just felt that I've looked at it a few times. First of all, I was just like, oh, I don't really know what the complaint is, but I have looked at it a couple of times again and spoke to a few other people as well, like superbike riders, and they've said, it was harsh, but not like over the line. But I think it was more not over the line because of the way Scott reacted. That's what I've been told by a few superbike riders, that if it was up to Scott, and that's what I think he was pissed off about.
That's where racecraft comes in there. Like you no matter who you're on the track with, you trust in them to also make the right call.
Yes,
as well as you making the call. And I think Top Rack trusted Reddin that he would know what to do, because like Top Rack's not silly. He knows what he can do with that bike. He did his part, and he knew Reddin wasn't going to turn in on him, and that's fine. Like this we saw a harder move today in MotoGP for me.
You mean the assault?
We saw a tougher move, which was slightly less fair at the start of the MotoGP race with Alation Mark today than Top Rack. I get where you're coming from with Scott, but honestly, I think if you don't make those moves, you might as well go home.
Yeah, because you have to make those moves. At the end of the day, Top Rack's ability and confidence in his riding with that Yamaha enabled him to make that move. Top Rack, if you watch him through the years, you watch back to his rookies, his super sport races, his super stock 600, 1000 races, and even now, the Kawasaki, he is loose, he slides it, he puts in some mental moves, and anybody who races against him should know this. what happened to like studying your competitors and
He did
knowing
it.
where the
He
weaknesses are?
he did
You
it.
know,
His first win. Was it his first win? Was it
Manicor, and he
Manicor?
stuffed
He
it up
did the
the inside of
same
Ray.
pretty much move to Ray towards the end of the lap. Yeah, I think maybe again, I think Scott's riding quite emotional at the moment. Still riding very,
yeah,
he's riding very, very well actually. I just say that's probably a good ever, but he's probably a little bit annoyed with himself as well. You know what it's like. You're kind of leading the race. He'd rode. He was so impressive. Can I just say as well, a massive shout out to that Most. What a circuit that is!
yeah, it's
It
class, isn't it?
is
Scary.
it's scary, but it's got a bit of an asin feel to it to me that it could become. It
Yeah,
could become. Genuinely, I remember
Do you know
when
what?
like
Do you know
Sepang
what
came along.
do you know what I describe it as? Old school.
Yes, yes, I think could become a classic race because it is beautiful. I loved the flow of it. I just loved everything about it. I thought it was a lovely watching Scott and Toprak battling it for the lead across the races. For me, it was lovely. It made me really, one of the odd occasions where I think, oh God, I wish I could ride a bike like that. Like,
yeah,
and
No,
I'd
like
scare myself and probably do it once in my lifetime. But yeah, I was, full credit to both of them because they were so impressive. And Scott was probably just a bit annoyed with himself because he'd rode so well and he
well, he
probably
didn't
didn't.
managed
let
the
that.
That's what
gap.
I'm gonna say. He didn't even leave the door open as such because it was a
No.
place that you wouldn't expect to pass.
Mm,
So like, it's not like he was, left the door open for an expected move. I think that's what got him the worst was the fact
Yeah.
that Top Rat did it where you don't go.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think, yeah, like you said, yeah, once the dust has settled slightly, he'll realise I don't think it was a malicious move at all.
I don't even think it was a poor move. I think it was a fucking excellent move. To
Yeah,
be perfectly honest with you.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the tricky one, isn't it? When you're at a circuit and you're the rider that's having it stuffed up the inside. I'm sure you'd feel we'd all feel totally differently.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah, you
it's
can
the
imagine he
complete
was
centre
like,
line, isn't it?
from the comfort of my own sofa and my uneducated opinion is that I don't think it was an unnecessary move or a really harsh move. But yeah, I think when you look back at it, yeah, it would just be like, oh, do you know what? Actually, that was a pretty good move. Well done, lad. But also as well,
yeah,
it'll light a little fire in Scott's belly to be like, do you know what? Then I may not be as gentlemanly next time towards Toprak. If that's what we're deeming as fair, then
yeah.
we'll
Well, that's what he
as long as we
said.
don't
He was like,
overstep the mark, which I don't think Scott's that sort of rider.
Well,
But
Top
no, well,
Rat
that's what he
didn't,
said.
so
He said he
Scott
can be
won't.
more aggressive. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because Top Rat didn't, it's it's perfectly fine.
it's fair game now.
Aggression and dangerous are two very different things
yes,
to me.
that's
Yeah,
the big point, and I think that when you're dealing with most characters at the top of our game across GP or World Superbikes, most of them know what that difference is.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think the line wasn't crossed.
And it'll
So
just make racing a bit better for us. But no,
yeah.
the Most circuit, what a circuit! Honestly, so impressed with it. Beautiful,
I
beautiful track.
I downloaded it. I play a game called GP Bikes.
Okay,
Shout out GP Bikes. It's fucking amazing. But I
other
downloaded
bike
it
games
on
are
Lost.
available.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to play them because GP Bikes is the best. But
yeah, it is class.
but I downloaded Most on there a couple of weeks ago. Try it out just to see
What do you play it
the
on?
layout.
What do you play it on?
PC. It's PC only.
PC, yeah.
Is it PC only? Yeah.
And
PC Master Race.
I ended up chucking a 125 on there and having a look around on it, and it even in game it's brilliant. Like that first chicane it's a bitch of a circuit. Like don't get me wrong, it's nadgery. I wouldn't want to race on it honestly, but that's the beauty of it.
And that's what I mean. Seeing how impressive Scott and Toprak were.
They were a cut above Ray there. This
Yeah,
week.
they were.
Right, so moving on to the races, because we don't want to talk about crap forever. Although you might enjoy it, so whatever. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure you are enjoying it.
The same.
But we'll go into the Moto3 first, because freaking sick race. So we'll start with our predictions, which we didn't air last week because we had obviously Scott Ogden on the podcast. So it was just a case of us kind of doing it behind the scenes, stupidly after qualifying, so everybody had a gauge of where people will finish. So yeah, whatevs. So Jacob went with Garcia on the podium, Minho and Acosta. We got 2 of 3 right.
Not bad, not bad.
So not bad at all. Let me get it up. There we go. And then
Let me get it up, oh.
Oh, shut up, Jacob. That's for later, mate.
That's not why we're here.
That's what she said.
Gary Lee went with Acosta, Onsu, and Garcia. Obviously, he was on the pole. And I went with the exact same. So we all got Acosta and Garcia right, which, considering their first 2 in the championship, it's not really a surprise, is it? Yeah.
See, that's why we are where we are, eh?
We are.
Just stating the obvious.
Captain Obvious strikes again.
Hey, that's why we're so good at this and why people listen to this podcast.
Can you imagine people at home, like, when we actually talk? I bet there's some people who are like, what the fuck are you on about?
I can guarantee you somebody's probably, a lot of people sit there like, these guys just chat shit.
They haven't got a fucking clue, like.
Probably. Literally. But, oh, mate, I was gutted for Onsu. I'm going to say the wrong one. Dennis Onsu had to bloody start from last place because his team can't fucking tell the time.
The 3-minute ball was up, and they try saying, it was 5 minutes. Mate, it wasn't. Come on now. Like, you can't even blame a language barrier because it's numbers.
That's happened a couple of times now. That happened in BSB, that happened in F1 recently.
Yeah. Like,
Pressure,
can you not read? Yeah, it's like, it's easy for us to sit at home and come and go, but yeah, like, there is a lot of friggin' pressure on that grid at the end of the day. But I was gutted for Onsu, who got his pole in suspicious circumstances.
He'll be encouraged, though, won't he? Let's be real. Like,
yeah, he will be. You know,
there's going to be a lot of encouraged riders actually on that Moto3 grid this week.
Yeah, but like, the thing is though, Onsu obviously with his pole, where he kind of forced a yellow flag and ruined everybody's lap so he could get pole. I don't think it was intentionally, but that is kind of what happened. But
yeah, it's got shades of Zarco a couple of weeks back.
Yeah,
he did that, and then just so happened to stack it at Portimao, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no! What happened by accident?
No, I crashed. No way.
Oh dear! Oh no! How did this happen?
Yeah,
like,
but,
I will point out, I'm not saying Onsu crashed on purpose.
No, I'm not saying that, but
but I'm insinuating it.
Yeah.
No, it was a
shame.
Actually, it was a really, really strange crash, that qualifying one as well.
Yeah, it was.
Which makes it look more sus.
Yeah.
Just jumped off the bike.
It was a weird session, but it was a weird race, to be fair. I mean, because it was kind of wet, kind of not. Most riders went out on slicks and some didn't, and riders who were on slicks were crashing, but other riders like Acosta and Garcia were like blasting away at front, and they put bloody 15 seconds ahead of everyone else because they were pushing that hard.
Do you know what?
Yeah, that was so impressive.
The first thing I want to do about Moto3 though, I want to give Dunlop a shout out.
Oh mate, they were class.
Because their tyres, just perfect, not one issue. You know what I mean? Like, they were
considering how dry it was, at the end.
Like, round of applause, Dunlop, well done.
Yeah, really, really solid, and because Acosta and what's his face, Garcia, they were pushing each other on the limit the whole day. It's like, and they managed to put 15 seconds. Like, that was stunning, man.
Yeah, you
shades
could see
of
the pace.
Yeah, it's shades of Stoner and Rossi back at Laguna Seca 08,
Like,
well, they were that far ahead that Garcia crashed.
Yeah, and still finished
second. He went deep into the gravel. It wasn't like he just went down. No. He went deep in the gravel, got back up, and still finished second.
Like, what was it? 5 seconds off lap record pace.
Mental, isn't it?
Like, that's on wet tires. Like, the track was driving on wet tires. Like, that is just brilliant. Like,
yeah, really solid. They class race, and 2 riders I do want to massively shout out is Maximilian Koffler and Darren Binder.
Yes.
Solid.
Can I add one more name to that shout out deserved as well?
Yeah.
Yamanaka.
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking Yamanaka as well. Like,
and Yuki Kuni, really.
Yeah. And Adrian Fernandez in 10th.
Yeah, there was standout rides all through the field. The leveler has has almost shown the talent almost. Yeah. Like, there's not a bad rider in that field, you know what I mean?
No, there's not.
But like, now there's suddenly a more even keel, and riders have finished in the points.
Well, there's a lot of solid riders there. Like, even when you go down, Lorenzo
What
Fallon
happened?
doing really well.
What happened to Fodger?
He does this thing with Jacob where
Yeah, he finished on the podium, didn't he? Yeah, my bad.
yeah, he didn't either finishes on the podium or out of the point, and he was 20 seconds. So next week he'll be third.
It's on the res, isn't he? He's just absolutely on the res. He gets a podium and then just goes on a big bender.
Is he
We've
allergic
talked
to
about
water?
this. We've talked about this before.
No, that's Salach. That's not him. That's
Oh, no. No, you can't say that.
I just did.
Damn it.
No, I think Fodger is allergic to wet weather as
Yeah.
well, which didn't help him. But, like, come on, man. Like, a championship contender, supposedly.
Yeah. Third in the championship and
And he
You
is
know what's really
consistently
cool?
inconsistent.
What really cool? Seeing 3 Japanese riders in the top 10
yeah.
was
Finally.
quite was actually like, oh, actually, you know what?
It's-
Again, we talked about sort of the Asia Cup and the youth program. We've talked
It's
about.
proof it works.
I mean, if Andy
Yeah.
Farid was, not 23 and not amazing,
Shit.
there would be, that would be probably another Japanese who fit in the top 10 as well, and on the Team Asia would have
Well,
a
you
field
had
day.
is it Keto Toba as well, finishing
Toba, yeah.
P12.
Yeah,
So he was
solid.
just outside the point. So yeah, it was pretty. I'm not sure how much rain they get in Japan. I mean, they don't really race in stormy season, do they?
No, and
But
obviously
apparently, when it rains in Japan.
yeah.
That's what I mean. It's a monsoon, isn't it? Yeah, you're not anything like that side. But that I thought that was quite telling. Again, it was quite good to see because it is important that you have like Japanese riders coming through
Yeah.
for manufacturers. Which there's actually something else I'll talk about later from Moto 2. But it was well impressive to see Acosta and Garcia how well they were riding on the limit, swapping positions, considering the condition. They were managing the conditions really well. Both of them, sorting out the damp areas to keep the tyres cool and in a really good operating window. You hear so much about tyres and stuff, but yeah, fair play.
That's why I felt it was only fair that Dunlop get praise, because when tyres go bad, you never hear the end of it.
No, but you never hear any praise, There's one rider I want to give a massive shout out to, and that's John McPhee in 13th place. What a ride, dude!
I'm not biting.
Sorry, I'm just doing my impression of British commentators. John McPhee deserves that Moto2 seat, mate. Solid result.
Just get him on the Petronas Yamaha, man. I mean, cut out the middleman,
The middleman.
Like, why go to Moto2 and waste a year there? He's 38. Like, he's done.
Shame because he had quite a promising start to the weekend, didn't he? He was quite quick leading up to qualifying,
and then he just kind of fucked it again.
Fair fucks to Petronas for letting them both go on slicks. But
Yeah.
I think Darren Binder showed who is the team leader in that.
Binder was coming fast, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was coming fast.
He showed he is the better rider of the two.
He was lapping with
few
the
more
same
laps,
times as
few more laps, he would have been on the podium. Give 2 more laps, he would have been on the podium.
Well, he was what 5 seconds off the box, and he was lapping the same speed as Acosta and Garcia. He was there.
We know, like, for all intents and purposes, that Darren Binder is going to be on the Petronas Moto2 seat next year.
Well, the thing is, the rumours are now saying that he'll go to MotoGP and jump Moto2.
Yeah, but he's not going to do that, is he?
He's not, but he is.
But he's going
out of
to
everybody,
Moto2.
he is the most best, well-placed rider to do so, just because he's freaking quick, and he's got the shape,
Yeah, but he's going to Moto2 Petronas, and he's showing why he's gotten that seat, and they haven't promoted the guy next to him.
Mm-hmm. And
exactly.
as well, it's Acosta's 5th consecutive victory at the circuit today.
Like, I saw the comment on your social media.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his 5th win in a row. Well, it is there.
Fucking read it, bro. But yeah.
It there, in that particular location.
Yeah.
It is.
It's literally his 5th consecutive. But he's got 50% win record so far this year. As a rookie.
This is why Fernandez has been screwed over. I wanted to say it earlier, but Acosta he is now the golden boy. He's the one who can now demand what he wants.
Yeah.
And especially because he's not going for a MotoGP seat, they don't have that headache. like he can basically demand what he wants. Like he can demand a lamb to sacrifice every week, and they'll have to give it to him. You know?
The fuck.
They could.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they won't, but they could. That's what I'm saying. Like he's in the
good.
position where he could,
Yeah.
and like it's fair because he's doing the business.
He's fucking amazing, that kid.
Like,
Unbelievable.
I wanna do a quick couple of get wells because Niccolo Antonelli broke a wrist,
And his teammate Tatai couldn't.
Yep,
complete the
Carlos
race.
Tadei. Vintier's having a bit of a war right now with their riders. And,
Neither of their
Xavi-
riders race.
And Xavi Artigas, who has tested positive for COVID.
So,
Yeah, get well soon.
who's the is it Marco Tapia? Did they get him in?
No, he's Leopard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
And then they
Tapia.
can get Bartolini in, and then I don't
And
know who they
Sura.
can get. Maybe, yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
But
Yeah.
of course, they're allowed to miss one race, aren't they?
They can, but
Yeah.
it's motor free in it. You don't want to. It's fair if one rider's out, but if both riders are out, then
Yeah, I imagine they will get one replacement.
they've got to have sponsors, you know.
And speaking of replacement rides, I thought Salvador was solid.
Yeah, where did he finish again? I've just literally closed the tab.
I'm not 100% right up right now.
Well, he crashed, no, didn't he? He crashed twice. He got
Crashed.
DNF.
Yeah, he crashed. Yeah.
But like
But
in terms of his application,
Yeah, he did
was
well.
there. You know what I mean?
He'd never ridden a Honda before.
No, it's similar to a TM, more similar than the KTM,
Yeah, it is.
But-
yeah.
but still a all different ballgame World Championship.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
he didn't look out of his depth, put it that way.
No, he did. He did solid, you know. Oh, I'm so glad they're not racing tomorrow. Oh my word! Obviously, tomorrow's Monday for anybody listening. Going, what? Yeah, Monday. Right, moving on to Moto 2. We have had a great race and one of Jacob's favoured riders.
Ayagura, fuck yeah.
Yeah, what a ride, right? Ayagura, man, starting in second place.
Yeah. He's arrived, hasn't he? Like he'd been threatening, knocking the door for a while. And we've praised him quite a lot on this podcast, but it's not without reason.
Yeah, he's mad good.
Yeah,
But the tail of the race is Remy Gardner making a mistake.
Dun dun dun.
first win of the year.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah,
And messing up my
literally the first of the year.
predictions.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. What were the predictions? Crap.
That's what I'm more annoyed about, to be honest with you.
Yes. So Gary Lee went with Bez, Canne, and Gardner. Oh mate,
See what I mean?
you were so close.
Oh, so close.
I went with Gardner, Ogura, and
Did you?
Lorenzo Della Porta. Who, to be fair, Lorenzo Della Porta's had a freaking
He was solid.
amazing weekend, right, and has done so well all season long, but is getting screwed over. He scored some points finally, finishing 12th place, man. He is so much better than what he's showing right now. It's actually painful, man.
It hurts to see, doesn't it? Because he's not bad. He's a Moto3 World Champion. He knows
It's
his
painful,
shit.
man. And Jacob went with Remy, Raul, and Bezecchi.
I thought that was quite solid, and they looked quite good at the start, and then all of a sudden the IO boys found out they didn't like wet.
Yeah,
There you are.
they struggled all weekend, the IO boys, which is uncharacteristic for them.
Yeah, they've been told to make it interesting by Dorna, haven't they?
Yeah, but I'm mad impressed by Mr. Bowtie Aaron Canet, you know?
Yeah, he did very well, and
Deservedly well.
it's not unexpected though, is it? Like, he's
He was pole there last year.
yeah, he loves this place. He's a great rider. It's like in the MotoGP class what we're going to say next about the winner there.
Yeah.
They like this place when they're not a mug. It's I don't know what else I can say about Canet. Like, this is where he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
100%.
decent. He's only 21, isn't he?
Like, when he opts on the
So young.
KLX next year, that's
gonna be dangerous.
going to be worrying for.
Yeah, but it's
a lot of
Pon's
people.
team, innit? It's a shit team, so
Well, I don't know about that.
it's the riders. It's the Pon team at the end of the day.
Well, one of them. The other guy is just so good. He's just letting everybody else win. But
Yeah, that's it. Manzi the goat.
I think.
Val the goat.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good race. I think it was quality to see such a good battle between like three riders for the lead. Obviously, until Remy decided. Because
He's
he's
like,
like his
"Nah, I'm
dad.
letting
Was it
somebody
like
else
his
win it."
dad? His dad was like the first race his old man's been to.
I'd be like,
Pressure,
fuck
mate.
off, Wayne.
Poor
back
Go
home,
away,
mate.
Wayne. He can't. Well, if he goes back, right, he can't actually leave Australia again because of the new laws.
Yeah.
So he's
But is it worth
stranded
it
in
to cost
Europe.
Remy the title? I just send him back home.
Yeah, fuck off home, Dad.
Yeah, like, you only won one. I'm gonna win one. Go home.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
you might like this, Jacob. But what do you think about Agora? Like, if he carries on the way he is, can you see there being a possibility for him
Yes.
to be
To answer your
promoted to a
question,
factory ride next to Marquez? Because if Pole continues to perform the way he is,
can you imagine? Right, Honda now are there. They sat there and they're thinking, fucking KTM with their rookies, bringing them all the way through, and Binder and Oliveira have both won.
Yeah,
we got to do something here. Oh, we got a guy who's flying in Moto2 who comes through our Honda Team Asia system.
Yeah, who's come from
I wonder.
all the way through from the Chev Honda team, all the way through the glasses.
Yeah, like, if we chuck him on the orange bike, he could do some damage.
that Chentra as well. That Chentra was for the Team Asia. He was P8 as well. So
yeah, but he's so inconsistent that it's.
This is Chandra's
he's
ride.
Thai, isn't he?
That's it.
He's from Thailand, isn't he?
Thailand, yeah.
No, he's not Thai. He should.
thing with Repsol Honda is because their deal's only been extended for 2 more years to suit Danny. No, Danny. Oh my god, to suit Paul and Mark.
Is it 2018? Is it?
To suit Paul and Mark, and so the deal might come to the end there. And because if they hire Agora next to Mark Marquez, they've got a Japanese rider there. Suddenly they don't need Repsol no more. They can pull in. Japanese
in the Minsu are not sure.
That's what I was going to say. I think the only stumbling block is going to be Taka. As long as Taka's in MotoGP, Agura doesn't go up. For me,
no.
Or would put Taka on the factory and put Agura on the LCR because LCR is such a good squad at looking after their riders.
Yeah, that was what I think is more likely. Of course, the one swallow does not a summer make and all that. He needs to do it consistently now, but he definitely has been knocking on the door with consistent top fives.
He's very solid.
And there was people who were like, "Oh, last year was a fluke." Unlucky.
And there was, I think, like you say, if he carries on the way he is, then there's no reason why. If he's fighting with all of those top boys, which are already guaranteed MotoGP rides without real question, then why would you not?
Am I allowed, before you can obviously cut this part, am I allowed to mention Garcia staying down? Because it's gonna tie into my point.
Fuck it, let's do it. I'll keep this in.
Basically, we know Sergio Garcia's not going up next year.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying down with Aspar. So of the class of the Moto3 field going up, only Acosta is going to be a threat. And we're going to see Bezzecchi go up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Fernandez go up. Remy go up. He's going to have a hell of an opportunity to battle for race wins consistently next year.
Wasn't they talking about Canet going Aprilia because of the Biaggi link?
Maybe, but he signed with Pons.
But he signed with Pons, yeah. Canet's going to be Agura's biggest challenge next year for me, if it's not Acosta.
And Fernandez, Augusto Fernandez for sure.
Fernandez, Acosta, Canet, and Agura fighting would be mega.
Do you know what, though? I hate to mention it, but we didn't put Joe Roberts in that category, and I think we're starting to doubt whether he will ever do it.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
Went down again, didn't he? He went down again today. I feel really gutted.
I think he was hit today, though. To be fair, it definitely didn't look like a normal crash. I think he was hit. I don't know for sure.
It's one of them ones where if you didn't have bad luck, you'd have no luck.
Yes. Absolutely.
You make your own luck in this
part. But sometimes you're either riding a wave, obviously things can change very quickly, and he's clearly got talent.
Yes.
There's no question of that. He's just having a bad time of it at the minute.
But we didn't mention him as a threat next year, whereas he was coming to this as mentioned as a threat.
Yeah,
I think he's regressed, honestly. He shouldn't have left ART.
No, it's a mistake on it.
Yeah, definitely. But Shout out Jake Dixon, had a pretty decent ride today.
Still behind this
11th.
Still behind this team, though.
I thought you were joking.
No. Generally, no. He had a good ride. He came from 22nd, I think, something like that. He came from 22nd. He was up to the P9 at some point and battling with his teammate Vieja and Schrotter.
But he still finished behind Vieja, and that's not what he needs to do if he wants that Petronas.
See, what's this Vieja then? So obviously Vieja's,
he's off.
Got what?
He ain't staying with Petronas.
A couple of podiums. He's been. Yeah, where's he going?
Well, probably just to the next big team. I think he just tried to complete the set.
Yeah, he's going VR46, mate.
Where haven't he been? Like, he's been to Intact, he's been to VDS, he's been to Petronas.
He's literally been everywhere.
Like, who's the next big team? Who's the only big team left?
Intact GP.
Well, he's been to Intact, haven't he?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, wait, sorry, I meant Italtrans.
Yeah, Italtrans is next on his list, probably,
Or what about Red Bull KTM?
Yeah, it's either going to be IO or Italtrans next.
Yeah.
He's going to complete the set. He just wants a full set of leather so he can surround himself with all the top team's leather.
That's it. You can open a museum and go, it's the Xavi Mier museum, and he's just
he's
got a wax model of himself in there.
He's had some decent results this year, hasn't he? As well.
Yeah.
He's just not in the discussion of anything, though, is he?
No.
I think he's more likely to leave Petronas than get that seat. But every time he beats Dixon, it pulls Dixon further away from the Petronas seat for me.
Yeah, I think that Dixon would have done himself really, like, it would have done him a world of good today. That result, again, we know that Jay Dixon's capable of a lot more. But coming from 22nd to 11th in Moto2 is no mean feat.
It's no mean feat.
Finishing pretty decent. If he can then build on that.
Yeah, honestly, it was impressive, but unfortunately, it was overshadowed by the fact that he beat him again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that simple. It's harsh, but that is the way of the world.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. But it's a shame.
It's not many riders can do it. You know what I mean? They come from 22nd to get into the top 10, or hover around the top 10 in Moto2. It's such a competitive paddock.
It did really well, to be fair.
I think it did. Vieja, Schrotter, and Dixon finished within 7/10 of each other, so they come across the line.
They were glued together the entire race. Yeah.
Sam
Lowe's had a May.
What the hell happened? I didn't see it.
I don't know what happened.
He was doing pretty well, wasn't he? He had an off, didn't he? He was running up in 4th or 5th.
Yeah, but I only put him back to 8th.
Yeah, and then he was 9th and then 14th in the last lap.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I still don't know. Like, I tried to find out, and I haven't got a Scooby-Doo.
Hold on, I'll find the I'll go for the whole. Well, the thing is, actually, though, before to cut myself off, it seems that in the Mark VDS team, they've basically swapped around, and it's gone from Cal Crutchlow, Sam Lowe's getting on the podium, and Augusto Fernandez struggling, to Fernandez in the box and Sam struggling. And they're just swapping parts around to whoever they think is going to do best this week.
They've Augusto's finally sorted that front end, hasn't he?
Thank God, because he is so quick.
Like the other guy who's in the background with us, Matic, he's a great supporter of Fernandez's crew chief, Luciano Nicastro.
Yeah.
And he's sworn by him and said he will figure it out.
And he did.
And he has.
I found the reason why as well.
What's happened?
So Sam was obviously 9th, started the last lap 9th, and was trying to overtake for 8, which was some Kachantra, but he went wide and finished 14th.
Typical Sam, isn't it, unfortunately. Too much.
Yeah.
For not enough.
Yeah.
These shades of old Lowe's coming back, unfortunately.
Yeah, crash Lowe's. But he didn't crash, so well done, Sam. But,
but
I want to give a shout out to Bez, though, because he struggled earlier this year, and suddenly, I mean, yeah, he won here last year, so he likes his place, but well done, Bezecchi.
Did you hear the thing BT Sports said about him?
No.
They were speculating that he had like a bent frame or something.
Jesus.
Really? Yeah, what, earlier this season?
Like they said you get back. Like I don't know if it was like said nothing else was mentioned about it. They went silent after it. But in commentary, they said, you come back after the summer break. You go into the summer break, sorry. And then you get to have a look at yourself. You get the bike back into the workshop, and little things like a bent frame and stuff. He said.
What the hell, man?
And I was thinking, is that them confirming Bear's had a bent bike, or is that just a passing comment? Like
he's had a pretty decent season so far. He's not like he just hasn't.
Right.
He's had he had three thirds, a second, and a win now. And he's been top 6 every race, so it's not like he's had a terrible year. It's just that
we expected wins off the bat,
Yeah, wins.
And then suddenly, if your wheels are bang in line after you've discovered a bent frame, and then you go out and suddenly the bike feels good, then you're going to win.
Yeah.
So there may have been a passing comment that had some truth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not confirming that's what happened.
Yeah.
But the fact they went silent after it, I think, was quite telling.
Just tumbleweed going by. They're like, oh, should have we said that?
Oh, fuck no.
What's the standings like for Moto2 now after that, with Remy going down?
Remy extended his lead. I think it's 40 points now overall.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, top of the time, but it was decent. And it's solid weekend. Right, moving to MotoGP. MotoGP, the one we've all been waiting for, and some people will probably just skip through the last few bits to get to this bit.
Charming.
Can we open by discussing the Mark and Aleix incident?
Not yet, because I want to congratulate Jorge Martin on a debut rookie MotoGP win in his freaking sixth race in the class. Unbelievable, man.
It's no Brad Binder in his third race, is it?
No, but it's Jorge Martin in the sixth race.
Like much like Canet, he likes this place. He was on fucking flame there on Moto2. Like, make no mistake, he had 2 wins there basically, but for the stewards.
Yeah.
One in Moto3. Like, he likes this place. He likes it a lot, and he had the tool for the job in the Ducati.
It's weird though. I feel really old looking at the top 4, looking at Jorge Martin, Jaromir, Quartararo, Binder. I'm like, sorry, is this 2016 again in Moto3 or?
Do you know what though? Honestly, if it makes you feel old, imagine how me and Gary Lee feel. Fucking 23, all of them.
Jeez, they're my age, man. My age, and I'm sat here doing a fucking podcast.
Yeah, like when I was 23, I was wanking into a sock, like. Just nah.
Why? You have to make this vulgar.
Oh my god.
Nah, but like when I was 23, I didn't have anything in my life together. I didn't even know what I wanted.
You still do, mate. You're living out of a box.
It's a nice box.
Right, okay.
It was
everyone lives in a box.
Fridge.
There's some nicer boxes.
Yeah, it was from a fridge.
Oh, great. Okay.
And I got air conditioning with it.
At least it wasn't a flat screen TV box, then you'd be screwed.
Yeah. What do you think? What do I look like? Some kind of idiot with a Samsung box? Nah, it's a fridge box.
I got a sign saying you are right.
Yeah. I literally built-in aircon where a dog bit it. It's amazing.
Perfect. And then the Trump peas on it, keeps it a bit warmer.
Because, like, in all seriousness, I didn't know I wanted to get into the MotoGP world until I was 26. So,
then, but basically when you met me, that was funny.
No.
I'm joking.
So you've done to him, Dick.
Nah.
Dragged him in.
If anything, he's made me think, do I really want to work with this guy?
Do I really want to be anywhere near him? Get restrained.
Do I want to spend extended amounts of time with this guy? Yeah.
I don't even want to spend extended time with myself, mate. That's why I sleep all the time.
But like obviously when I was 23, I didn't know I wanted to do this, and they are standing on the podium of a MotoGP. Like they got their shit together.
He's got in 6 races, he's got 1 win, 2 podiums, 2 pole positions. That's mental as a rookie.
That's freaking mental.
Yeah. And can I just say in between that as well, he did break himself in half.
Yeah, quite literally snatched himself to bits.
Silly, crazy, horrible accident.
That's the only black mark against Jorge Martin for me, is he is made of cheese. Like, let's be honest, a wind could snap his leg. So that's the only concern I have about him.
Just don't drop him.
Talent-wise, he's amazing. Like, if I was Pramat now, right, what I would do is I would put him in the crate with the bike rolled in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Just ship him.
Just ship him. Yeah, don't even let him
Yeah.
go. Like. And
Yeah.
on that, as well. So I mean, a huge congratulations to him. You know, like was such a young lad winning so convincingly, so such a
dominantly.
dominant. You know, again in tricky race. You know, it was very aggressive. The beginning, we'll come on to it. How aggressive it was, but.
Yeah, like, do you know what? Do you know what impressed me the most about him? Is the fact he was happy to lead from the front against the current world champion.
Yeah. That's
like the balls on that guy.
No, like, Juan Mir, as we know, is half about. Yeah, he can ride a bike all right, can't he?
He's all right, yeah.
And he gets better. Well, the thing about Mir as well is he gets better as the race goes on. So
yeah.
And aside from that, Suzuki had the new ride height device at last, which they reckon give him up to 0.4 a lap.
Well, it showed, didn't it?
Like,
There was what was our predictions, by the way?
Oh yeah, for God's sake, Declan, I'm shocking at this, man. To add though, we're going into
you are a shit host, isn't it?
I'm shocking, mate.
Like, if this was a game show, I'd have already won the showcase and you would have forgot to tell me.
There's no Bruce Forsyth, is he?
Lovely to see you.
See you nice.
Shit.
Apart from like the nonce allegations or whatever as well, but you know.
He was never nonsense.
No, never.
No, he worked for the BBC, mate. They all are.
Oh, blimey. Just talk yourself out of a job at BBC.
Social commentary from Declan Constable.
I'd just like to say for the record that I have no...
I have no affiliation with BBC.
Okay.
Other nonce associations are available.
Well, thing is, BBC stands for something else now if you're about my age. So if you have no affiliation with it, that's okay. That's fine, mate. I'll tell you off air what it stands for. So.
I know.
No, you don't. You don't. It's different, mate. It's not what you think it is. Just
Big Black Cock.
No.
Oh.
I'm not even gonna say it. Not on air.
It can't be worse than what Jacob just said, surely.
Oh yeah, okay. It's Big British Cock.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's the new thing.
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
What difference does it make?
Well, you're not black.
It's not got a fucking accent, does it?
Mine do, mate.
It's a very polite.
It just sips tea every now and then.
It sits in queues.
It just rides on a double-decker bus every now and then.
Reads the newspaper every morning. Amazing.
When you finish, he goes, quite.
Says thank you. He's got his P's and Q's.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I hate my life.
Oh my god.
Predictions.
I'm so glad I'm back on the podcast, guys.
We've missed you. Oh fuck! I got tears running down my face, man. We got. Oh god! Right.
I just thought of another one. He puts a policeman on. Oh, goes hello, hello, hello. What's the worst then?
Policeman's hat on.
When it's roleplay night.
His helmet, do you mean?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
He turns him into a knobhead, you know.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Right. Oh god. Anyway, right. Predictions. So Jacob went with Pecco, Fabio, and Dani Pedrosa.
Oh, that was really bad. That would definitely have been 3 out of 3 in the first race. I'd like to add, and the first restart.
Not Jacob, bloody hell. Gary Lee was very confident went with Rossi, and Rossi. But then he was told off. So he went for Fabio, Pecco, and Mir, which is fairly close. 2 or 3. If
I don't think nobody accounted for Jorge Martin, did they?
No, mate, nobody. Apart from the guy who sent me a thing saying that he thought he'd won 70 grand. Some dude sent me a thing, right? If you are listening, I'm sorry, mate.
I'm sorry for you. I am.
Yeah,
genuine.
He sent me a thing
gambling.
Like, I put 17 quid on 1,000 to 1 for Jorge Martin to win. Like, oh my god! And I was like, bro, fair play. Send me proof. Send me it. He's put it on for the championship.
Not the race win.
Oh, no.
And you know the thing is, he's probably already bought a new car now, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's like spent in his head, like.
Yeah, he bought a new car now, and he's thinking, imagine how many women I could buy with this. And then all of a sudden, bang, it's just for the championship.
He's like, oh, mate.
Fuck it. My condolences, sir.
Yes. I went with Fabio, Marquez, and Pecco because Marquez was looking tough, strong. And in the first part of the race, before the restart, Marquez looked like he had podium pace.
Marquez also looked very strong, didn't he?
Oh, he did, mate. Just have to ask Salacious Marco, which now you can go into.
Well, that's what I've had the most messages about today. Is what do you make of the Marquez Aleix incident? Now, I don't think it was overly awful. Like, it was strong.
Yeah.
I think any other time other than the first corner of the first lap, he probably would have got a long lap for it.
But it was first corner, wasn't it?
Like, it shit happens on the first lap, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the second time it was Fabio's fault. So it's fine.
Yeah, second time was a racing incident, that's fine. Like, that happens. But the first one, I can see why Aleix was aggrieved. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like, what do you think's going to happen? It's Marquez on the first lap. He ain't going to just say, "Oh, after you, sir."
I think that the second one was just a racing incident because he was kind of pushed into it. But the first one,
Fabio's fault.
I think the first one was way too much. If I'm honest, I think when you're using another rider to make sure you get around a corner, that you overstep a line, so he should have been punished. That's my opinion.
I think anything other than the first corner of the first lap.
See, they give a bit of special dispensation, but you can't just clout. Really wide. You can't just clout into another rider.
No, I agree. Like, I think it was any other time
mid pack as well. Like, just literally, because yes, you can get away with a bit more. Race. Like, going a little bit. Well, he was on his ribs, wasn't he? So that could be I don't know whether that's a long-standing issue or something to do with.
He's put a post on Instagram saying he's all good and he just went for a bike ride after the countdown.
Yeah, but I think I think it was way too much. I think yes, there's good. It's good to have racing. We want to see it, but this actually goes back to like a point. We talked about Rossi obviously in the beginning, but he said like with this new generation of riders, they have a lot less respect.
Yeah.
It makes for good racing sometimes, but for me, this was quite clear cut that he should have been. I don't know what, but at least should have been acknowledged as a mistake and something that
I think if you asked Mark, he would say like, I'm sorry, it was over the line.
No, he came out and just said, "I was a racing incident." That's what he said.
Yeah, but that's Mark Marquez admitting a mistake in it. Like, you'll never, you know what I mean? Like, to a point, you'll never say, "Oh, I did this. Like, I fucked up really badly here," because that's not Mark Marquez. Like, he never shows weakness.
Marquez is just Marquez, and unfortunately, if you make a thing around Marquez, he probably won't accept liability.
Yeah, like he doesn't show any weakness. He doesn't like to show chinks in his armor, does he?
No,
he would acknowledge that as a racing incident when. I think any other time, the only thing that saved him was the fact that it was first corner of the first lap, and I think that's what gave it the edge of acceptability.
Just absolutely clout.
Because it's just the first, like
I think it was
as in
way worse than the Top Rack Reading incident. Anyway,
yes, I agree with you on that. Like in terms of why it was let go. It's because of when and where.
Yeah,
like
I know the stewards.
Lap 17.
Yeah, I know the stewards give a little bit more towards it, but I think that's more so for like just a little bit. But like, he was never making the corner. Not that he wasn't. It wasn't like he was turning the corner and Aleix was on the outside. They were both.
Yeah.
Lent in.
Well, to use a Keith Hewinism, he used him as a berm, didn't he?
Yeah,
he literally used him as a
berm.
He
would have gone straight on. He was too hot in and not leaning in. He would have ended up just totally wide. So when you use another rider as a point to make sure you get around the track.
But the thing is, no rider anyway, even down to grassroots level, who is racing, has never made a mistake on the first corner of the first lap. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's not about making a mistake. It's just about setting a precedent that you can't. Because then
But if you punish him, then you have to punish everyone who runs off the track on the first corner or the first lap, and they don't do that either.
No, but that's the difference between something which is classed as an incident on the first lap because it's busy and just riding dangerously. And this is where this comes into the category of potentially being dangerous.
Was it dangerous though?
Massively, massively. Because you think if
he
hits him,
was?
I do. Yeah, I really do. But I think because of the context of where it is, it's not just they're running, fifth and sixth, seventh and eighth on the exit of a corner. You put another rider down in the at the front of the pack on the racing line on a fast corner with another 15 riders still got to come past them. I think that's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair point. Fair point.
I don't agree that it was dangerous. I think it was on the very edge of
Yeah.
But I mean, if everybody thought the same, then
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's more of a case of it being dangerous because of what could have been, and more so, just I think that the race stewards at least need to have said, well, we've reviewed it or something. Do you know what I mean? They could at least do something to say, like, okay, we're reviewing this incident to check it, and then we're going to call them to the stewards and just say, can we hear both of your opinions? At least that way that it shows that they're at least looking at this sort of stuff, not just being it goes back to the whole point we've talked about, doesn't it? About when you react to something and it go, it's too late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that sort of thing. I don't want to kibosh any decent racing and stuff like that because obviously, both of them know how to ride a bike way past any physical or mental capacity that I could even comprehend. Yeah. It's not down to the riders, it's more down to the organisers, just to say, because you stamp out the idea of it potentially going too far or retaliation or that they just and I don't mean that in a malicious manner, but then again you just think, well, it's okay for him to do it, then I'll do it, and then that's when you start getting into a dangerous situation. And it's so close at the front, everyone is fighting tooth and nail for top 15.
And I think that was half the problem. Is everybody's at such a good level now, even going into the first corner with you are on it the second those lights go green. Like you are at 100%, and because of that, I think it's almost it's scary now in the first corner, because if you brake slightly too early, someone's going to smash into the back of you. If you brake slightly too late, you're going to smash into the front of somebody. Like you have to be absolutely perfect now on the first corner.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say as well is that it was a very aggressive and great battles throughout the field, throughout the whole race, but especially at the beginning of the race. Yet the two incidents where we're thinking potentially was a bit over the line has one common denominator, and again, if you're
that he's orange,
exactly, and you can't just keep ignoring that. You can't just go, oh yeah, well it's Mark, because then once at the end of the day, it's kind of personal preference, isn't it? If you think it's too much, then it's too much.
I think they should have at least made a show of we are reviewing it and then no further action taken.
Yeah, that's true.
At
least look at it,
But I don't think personally, I don't think it warranted a penalty.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I don't think it's like he deserved like a long lap penalty or something like that. But I think at least govern it to acknowledge that you've done something
to show
wrong.
That you've acknowledged it, kind of thing.
Yeah. That's probably from my perspective. Yeah, I don't want it. I'm not going to blow it out of proportion that it was really dreadful or anything like that, because it was probably just a small error going into the first corner.
Yeah, I don't even think it was that big a hit as such.
Oh, it looked pretty big.
It would hurt. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like he straight lined him almost.
No. Although he nearly did that to tackle later in the race.
The corner. But he at least turned in and tried to make the corner. I don't think he just that's not Mark to just smack into someone for the sake of it.
No. Yeah, not for any. But yeah, but no, that I think more so just to stamp out any potential.
And I think the other problem is Alicia has 0.3% body fat. He had nothing protecting him, so no wonder his ribs hurt.
He's also got 0.3
He looks like an eaten chicken wing, doesn't he?
Yeah. But like, Aleix has no patience for shit either, so he just kicks off at anything. Any excuse, and Aleix would go mad.
He's a very emotional boy, is Aleix. I like Aleix a lot.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes you just need to. I just want to grab. Like, sometimes Laura just needs to take his phone off him, sit him down in a room, and let him fucking punch things.
Yeah.
That's what he needs, not to like go on Twitter rants and remonstrate with Mark on the cooldown lab and nearly take other people out.
That was actually. Do you know what? That was.
But like, imagine what he was thinking when he saw another orange flash hit him again. He's probably thinking, "This fucking prick."
Yeah.
Oh, imagine. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, he was livid, wasn't he? He was livid. But he did put a post up about it as well.
But he said he just went for a bike ride and it's all done. You know, he just Mark being Mark.
Yeah. I want to move on because.
But yeah, that's where I was going to move on. My rider of the day in the MotoGP class, barring Marty, was actually Enea Bastianini.
Really?
He was fucking awesome.
Ow.
Like, didn't you see what he was doing on that thing? That 19 Ducati is nowhere near the 21 Ducati.
No, it's not.
And he was battling in the top 10 before his long lap penalty.
True. No, to be fair, he did do well.
Yeah, he was having a decent ride.
It was more than decent for me because of what he's on.
But
you have to compare to what the other 19 Ducati is doing.
Yeah, for sure. But like Binder going from P16 to P4.
Binder was the other, yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
But Binder is on a bike, Binder's on the KTM there that, has done shitloads of laps around there and is a race-winning bike. That Ducati's 2 years old. I was very impressed with
I don't want to take it away from him. He did do really well. And he nearly went through to Q2. He started in 20th.
Very harsh.
He started in 20th place as well, so...
I think he would have been in the top 6 from the start if he'd gone through to Q2.
And he is doing good shit on that bike, genuinely.
Yeah.
I
really
can't
good.
wait for him to get a near current bike for next year.
Yeah,
being on a 2019 bike is a huge gap, isn't it? It's a huge gap.
It doesn't have the correct aero. It doesn't have the correct chassis. It doesn't even have the correct engine to a point because even though they got the engine freeze, it's still not used correctly compared to what the 2021 bike is.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, everything as a package is worse on that bike, and he is doing so good on it.
Yeah, he is doing well, to be fair. Like, credit where credit's due kind of thing.
We talked about Dani Pedrosa earlier. Absolutely mega
rocket.
And,
that early crash was scary, wasn't it?
It's made for some absolute worldy pictures. There
are some stunning photos. Like Cormac GP's just uploaded a load, and oh my word, they are good. And obviously Gareth Harford's ones as well.
Yeah, I put one on my story of Sava's bike.
Yeah,
no low ballers. I know what I've got.
No, someone just wanted to get rid of the Italia across his his wings, didn't they?
Some British person, But
I'm quite happy that Sava only came out of it with a broken ankle.
Yeah, it was nasty, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he went flying and then got up and ran with his broken ankle like adrenaline. Like,
I'm so disappointed for him because he's starting to figure it out.
Yeah, he is.
As I said, he's showing he belongs there. Like, he's not going to be retained next year.
No,
let's be honest.
No, he won't.
But he's showing that he's not out of his depth, despite what people thought.
Yeah, no, he's a really solid rider at the end of the day.
But of course, this does open the door for a certain Italian.
Yeah, Mr. Andrea Dovizioso for next weekend, potentially, if he says yes.
Biaggi? What?
Yeah. Do you know what, right?
He's been testing loads.
Yeah, that was my other thought. If Dovi says no and they chuck Biaggi on it, just to really piss Rossi off with his retirement announcement. Can you imagine?
That'd be so funny. Biaggi's too old now. He's over 50 though, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah. No, he's over 50, mate.
That's what I said about the Italians. I told you. Look how good he looks. Look how good he looks as a 50-year-old man.
I know. He's an Italian stallion.
The emperor.
I thought he was 48. I thought he was still within.
He's bang on 50, so.
Oh, you could do it then.
You could just about do it. I don't think you would though, but.
Right, Aprilia, you've heard the calls. Get Max in.
Get Beatrice.
He's already there with his team.
Yeah.
Suit him up.
He's already got a suit. He's got a suit, hasn't he? He's already got all his Aprilia levers and everything. He's been riding around on the superbike for months, for the last couple of years now.
He laps within a second of Savadori and Aleix on the RSVX. You know, he's still got it.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Get him on. Let's get Caparossi back just for one last weekend.
Oh
Dani,
my God.
Dani, Caparossi, get Stoner on the Ducati.
Oh,
Troy Bayliss on the Ducati.
You've been playing too much MotoGP career mode,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and also I think wanted to mention up for LCR as well, because both the riders finishing top 10, Taka and P5.
Yeah.
Behind, got done by Binder on the last lap. Literally 2 corners from the end.
But that's what I was about to say. I think that was the only thing Taka did wrong the entire race, was not defend that last corner.
It was great seeing him and Alex fight. They had a really good battle, actually. And, you know, especially with Pramac winning, you know, it was only a few years ago that, you know, LCR were this extremely dominant independent team, you know, and huge credit to Pramac. You know, I can't believe it's their first win, but that's mental.
It's mad, isn't it?
They've had so many seconds.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they've been so successful and had so many brilliant riders ride for them and done so well and, you know, punched above their weight, and now they're getting a real push with Ducati.
Because no matter what happens now in his career, Jorge Martin will go down in history, in Ducati history, as the first winner of a satellite Ducati.
Ducati winner, yeah, that was a crazy stat. And considering that it's only Miller that's got 2 other wins on the Ducati this year. You know, Martin's done 6 races this year, and he's only the second Ducati to win. That's crazy.
When you consider the other 2 riders as well, like who haven't won, like they were winners in waiting, didn't they? Pecco and
we'll keep saying about Pecco, don't we? You know, and I, again, you know, I think he was a bit unfortunate with the restart because he was flying that first race. He was out. He was, I do. But then I think it went the other way with Martin, because he said, didn't he? So yeah, but
Pramac stuck in the Ducati garage and swapped him over really quick. So it was.
But again, a crazy one, isn't it? You see, like, again, the Hondas. You know, you had, you know, Taka in 5th, Mark in 8th, and Alex in 9th. But then a certain Asparagus finishing way down.
I mean,
like way down.
Paul said he was in trouble from the off, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's not enjoying life. Another rider's not enjoying life, Maverick Vinales. Stalled it on the grid and then a ride through.
And again, he was looking so good. Yeah, he was looking so good. I mean, I'm not sure whether he would have sustained winning pace looking at what happened with Quartararo. But I think, again, Quartararo, we haven't even mentioned him, or Miller.
Yeah, we need to talk about it.
Well,
but yeah, again, the guy just can't catch a break. Poor sod, because he was looking so strong. And it would have been great, because I think they would have had a race-long battle, and it probably would have put the 2 Yamahas a bit closer.
Yes, because they could have drafted each other.
Yeah.
So I had to stick with the Ducati drafting it.
Yeah, but he was riding so well, like at the beginning of the race.
I think Maverick would have beaten Fabio.
Yeah, he was doing well.
But it goes. That's Maverick's MotoGP career so far, isn't it? It's a tale of ifs. Like, if Granny had balls, she'd be grandpa. Doesn't make it so.
It's a bit
again, it's that case about not letting it affect you. You know, we talked about the quality of some riders like Marquez and Jorge Lorenzo and stuff. When things happen to you, if you then don't let it affect you, and, you know, again, I don't know Mavericks, but it seems to be a theme, doesn't it? Where things, it really annoyed me. I read a couple of outlets and they were like, "Oh, it's the second time in 3 races he's finished last," but they didn't even mention the fact that he was running at the front before the red flag, and then the only reason he started from the pit lane was because he stalled. And he'd been fast all weekend. That annoyed me a little bit, because it doesn't sort of paint the picture. It's just kind of kicking him while he's down, you know, a little bit. But
it's only so much we can copy and paste the ifs for Maverick, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a shame.
You know, at some point, you just gotta say, like, this project hasn't worked, it's not going to work. Like I can't see him winning the rest of the year.
So that we're going to win next week.
But that's where I'm moving.
Just a note on that if whenever you're listening to this, anyone, the next race is also in Austria.
Also Austria.
So it's back to back.
Interesting. And I'm gutted for Jack Miller, mate. Gutted. I can't believe it. Like, because he was battling with obviously Fabio. I think he had probably pace for the podium, but I don't know. He just
looked like
stacked
he
it,
was
didn't
going
he?
to crash, though.
Yeah.
He looked like he was going to
Yeah,
crash.
he did look,
to be honest,
near to the limit, to be fair, but
he looked over the limit. I was saying to myself from lap 3,
yeah,
I said Miller's not going to finish this race.
Yeah.
You could just tell, like, he's not the. Nah, he ain't it.
no, and I'm sad for his teammate as well, Bagnaia, who literally was staring down the barrel of his first victory until the race restart.
I said it earlier, and I'm convinced. I think he had a dodgy tire somewhere.
Well,
he must stop because Pecco doesn't just fade like that. That's not Pecco.
well, there was Oliveira had a dodgy tire, like
The chunks out of the front.
massive, huge, monumental chunks out of his front tire gone by the end of the race. So the possibility of Bagnaia having a dodgy tire is probably quite high. To be fair,
Well,
I haven't read
Martin
the
had a
press
big
release.
chunk, didn't he? Even Martin said he had a big chunk.
Yeah.
I think it was luckily it was the left hand side of the tire.
Yeah,
But he had a huge chunk out of the tire.
yeah,
Yeah, like I think Pecco had a fruity tire somewhere,
yeah, absolutely.
and it's sad, but unfortunately, tires are so much more important in MotoGP than the other two classes.
Not a good day for the factory team. You say Miller was. I thought Miller was right. I thought it was. Watching Miller ride. He's got such a distinctive riding style. It just looks so good, and you're just like, how is he keeping that bike up?
Do you know what made me laugh about Miller was, do you know turn 1? Lots of people try to like curve the arc of it. Miller was just right angling the thing.
Hitting
Yeah.
it.
It was mad to look.
He's great around there. I love watching him around there. He's awesome, to be fair. But I've been told as well. Dani Pedrosa's bike that he set on fire today.
Yeah.
It's
He
going.
torched it because it's shit.
It's going to go in the KTM Moto Hall.
Really?
It's going to go on display. Yes, in KTM's headquarters.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
Well, they're going to use it as like a recycling bin.
Yeah.
But KTM, that still doesn't fucking make up for what you've done.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Trying to be cool.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. But I think that's all we've got. Oh my god, no predictions.
I was about to say, predictions for next week.
Yes. I mean, we're gonna do what's the bikes, but honestly, it's getting late, man. I need to go to bed, man. I'll be
We'll
honest.
listen to this for World Superbikes.
So
anyway.
quickly.
Top rag, really good.
Yeah,
Scott,
quickly gloss
really
over
good.
it. Yeah, top right class.
Jonathan
Reading
Ray crashed
class.
twice in
So
one
basically,
race.
what we're saying then, Top Rack of Reading, good. Ray, meh. Bassani, awesome.
Locatelli,
Del Bianco.
amazing.
Del Bianco, amazing, even though he didn't finish any race. World Superbike's done.
Locatelli, really impressive all weekend as well.
Yeah.
Just a note on that.
Locatelli,
Yeah, actually,
absolutely
shout out
outstanding.
Locatelli. Yeah,
Like he's
Mega
merging
weekend.
into like something else, man. Like I could see him on a bloody Paterona SLT next year if he keeps this
Do you know
up.
what, though? Like, one thing I do want to go and do quick is I think Del Bianco has Paul Mercado out of a job.
He did well. He had 2 crashes that weren't his fault.
We all know I'm a Del Boy fan.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're biased
but-
as fuck, mate.
But it's not even biased. He qualified well. He qualified better than any ME under has even come close to.
Yeah,
this year.
no, he genuinely has done really well, and he's a class rider, we don't have to, and bloody Fritz as well, he did fucking amazing.
Yeah.
On
Carol
an
Haneke did
endurance
Carol
bike.
Haneke things.
Yeah, Haneke crashed.
Gerloff didn't take anyone out, so
No.
shout out.
Well done, mate. But yeah, there's the gap now, championship gap, went into the weekend was 37 points.
3.
Yeah, went into the weekend, it was 37, now it's 3.
Tres.
Mental. But yeah, right.
Swinging.
Let's do these predictions, because I need to go to bed and edit this shit and upload it, and I'm going to be up until 2 in the morning, I've got to be up at 6. Yay, anyway.
Babe,
Anyway.
what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to cry. Anyway, Jacob, Moto 3 predictions, please.
Well, I'll keep the 2 I had
So-
of Acosta and Garcia.
Yeah.
as they were quite clearly the class of the field.
Yeah.
And I think third, I'm going to go for Jeremy Alcoba.
Yeah, I like that. He struggled, but then made it back in the weekend. Didn't score any points, though, but did all right.
Yeah, but I think next week gets dry, innit?
Yeah. Gary Lee, how about you?
I'm going to stick with Bez, Canet, and Gardner.
What, in Moto3?
Moto3.
Oh, sorry.
They are doing really well to win in Moto3.
Okay, now, I'm going to stick with Acosta, Garcia, and I'm going to say Fernandez.
Fernandez. Did you say Fernandez?
Well, Adrian.
Yes.
Okay.
Ballsy.
Yeah, very ballsy.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
But you know what? I've just realised, like, we've not mentioned the third place guy in Moto3 once.
Oh, yeah, it's because it's a twat.
But, like, you know, that's back-to-back podiums.
Yeah, but it's Fanati, mate.
But still, you know, credit where credit's due.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. Well done, Fanati. You're a dickhead and no one likes you. Anyway, moving on.
Wow.
For me, I'm going to go Costa, Garcia, and Messia. Because Messia was close. Right, Moto2, I'm literally speeding through these. Right, Jacob, please.
I'm going to go for Bez.
Canet.
Canet.
And Fernandez.
Remy.
Okay, and Gary Lee, what was it? Bez?
I'm going to go Bez, Canet, and Remy.
Oh, same as we had.
I'm going to go for Bez, Augusto Fernandez, Aug Fair, and then Moto2. I'm going to go Iagora, mate.
I would not be sad.
No, me neither. Freaking class rider. Right, Jacob.
I would accept that.
Yeah, me too. Right, Jacob, MotoGP.
Fabio,
as always.
Pecco. And then I'm going to go slightly left field, and I'm going to go Miguel.
Oliveira, okay. He's still injured.
Good
Don't
shout.
remember, he is injured.
He'd be alright.
Scary Lee.
I'm going to say Joan Mir.
Mira.
I should have fucking said Mia.
Tough shit.
Bollocks.
Fabio.
And
Miller.
okay, nice. Deco.
So we don't think Martin's going to do a back-to-back either.
No.
I think he'll be close, but I think that all of them will be quite close, to be honest. I think Quartararo will be up there more than he was in this race. I think he just took the points knowing that the rest were out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to go Me, Zaka, and Brad Binder.
Brad Binder.
Bruh. Binder. Big boy Binder. Yeah, we're going to go with that geezer.
Wow.
He's got that BBC, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
No.
Spreading rumours
Stop.
and love everywhere.
Stop it.
Anyway, on that horrific note, yeah, sorry we had to skip through World Superbikes. Oh, big, freaking massive monumental shout out to Manu Gonzalez. 2 podiums this weekend, his debut podiums. The race won, the win was his. Before the red flag still don't know why they red flagged it. So yeah, big shout out to Manu Gonzalez. Absolutely freaking class of the field.
Well, the win wasn't his, was it? Because Odendahl was in front of it.
Shut up. Yeah, but the race was finished 2/3 with like 12 laps to go, mate.
So Odendahl was in front.
Nah, mate. Gonzalez was.
Was there a guarantee at all?
Gonzalez. That was Gonzalez's win. Right. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll be back next week.
And please don't come at us for the opinions stated in this book.
Oh God! And the BBC's.
Ciao, everybody. Ciao.
And if you're from the BBC, please don't sue us.
Yes. Well, we'll be back next weekend. Why the hell are you listening to this still? Goodbye.
Ciao.
Leaders.